Geauga Local Access Cable, GTV, presents Chardon Hilltopper Football. Tonight's telecast from DeVazios Field in Euclid, Ohio, features the Chardon Hilltoppers versus the Willoughby South Rebels. Tonight's telecast is underwritten by the following: Kinetico Incorporated, Junction Auto Sales, Chrysler, Dodge Trucks, Jeep, Buick, Pontiac, GMC Trucks, Clemson Excavating, and Thompson Drag Raceway. Residence Artists Incorporated, Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service, and A.J. Goulder Electric Company. The Meadows Apartments, Home and Business Storage. Marcy's Hair on the Square, 135 Main Street, and the Hilltopper Full-Service Restaurant. Chardon Square Auto and Body, Howder's Lawn and Sport. Flowers by Roger at Cherry Center, Northeastern Kitchen and Bath Company. Dan McCaskey, Century 21 on the Square Realty Incorporated, Hamden Building Products, the Chardon Athletic Boosters Club, funding all sports at Chardon High and Chardon Middle School. Join the Boosters. We do great things for great kids, and your help is needed. And by GTV, local community programming for northern Geauga County, Burton Township, Burton Village, Chardon Township, the City of Chardon, Hamden, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township. And a pleasant good evening again. Welcome to Euclid, Ohio. Andy Sevcik joined by John Walsh. It's week 2 of the Division II state football playoffs, John, and a rematch from week 10 on the PAC as Willoughby South and Chardon get it on again. The Rebels beating Chardon 20-12 in week number 10. And how difficult is that really to get ready to play an opponent 2 weeks after the fact?
Well, actually, it's one of those things, you know what's coming. There'll be a few twists tossed in, I'm sure, by each of the teams. But essentially, they're probably going to come right back with what's South especially, what got them there and got them to win in the first place. But the Hilltoppers' adjustments are going to be to try to take away that thing. And a big thing they got to take away is quarterback DJ Delaney, because he's pretty much the center of their offense, being the quarterback, plus yardage-wise, passing-wise, running and all. He is the man to stop.
Well, his statistics on the season: 650 yards rushing from the quarterback spot, 9 rushing touchdowns. His passing, he's had 12 touchdowns through the air with a 46% completion rate, but he's also thrown 9 interceptions. The other side of the ball, though, for Chardon, of course, John, they are multi-talented. They have so many weapons to go to. And do you feel that it's important for Chardon to come out of the gate quick and take the lead in this ball game?
Well, I think whoever takes the lead early on is definitely got a heads up here and going to set the tone for the rest of the game. But no, I don't think it's mandatory that whoever scores first is going to win. I think this is just going to be a tight, close-fought second-round playoff game, just like the initial game was. And the importance is just more. So I think pretty much we're in that new playoff season right now. So what happened in the past really doesn't matter. It's out the door. It's time now to start your season.
Well, week 2 of the state playoffs will continue here on GTV as Chardon and Willoughby South will be getting it on from Sparky DiBiasio Field in Euclid. John and I will have the kickoff of this one on GTV right after this brief pause. Andy Sevcik and John Walsh here at Sparky DiBiasio Stadium getting ready for the kickoff of week number 2 of the Division II state playoffs. And John, good football game, a rematch of what we had about 2 weeks ago between the Rebels and the Hilltoppers. And I'm glad to be joining you in the booth. Unfortunately, Craig D's not able to be with us tonight, so I'm going to do the fill-in honors coming out of the bullpen tonight for GTV.
I'd have to say that's Craig's loss, because this should be one heck of a ball game. Second round playoffs. You know, if a team can't get up for this game, they don't deserve to be here. They were both up last week, got their initial wins, got their feet wet into the playoffs in this 2001 season. I guess it's going to be a tremendous ball game tonight.
Well, again, the Hilltoppers coming off a win at Louisville last week. Very impressive 21-6 victory. The defense played very well. The special teams did wonderful, and the offense took full advantage of the Louisville mistakes. And I think tonight, John, the track is fast. It's a very dry track, but it's going to be cold. We'll be dropping into the upper 30s tonight. And with Chardon now playing on the carpet as they do, playing on the grass, does that maybe hinder them a slight bit here tonight?
Well, it's a little alien, Joe, because I tell you, you do get spoiled by being on the artificial surface, but you know, adrenaline pumping, you know, what this game really means, I think that's just going to offset any uncomfortableness you have with the surface.
Well, apparently it's going to be Chardon to kick off. They're in the road white uniforms with the black pants, the red helmets, and the red numerals. Willoughby South, the Rebels, the winners in the Premier Athletic Conference. They're at 9-2 on the season. They'll be in the powder blue uniforms with the white trim, and they'll be going from left to right on the screen, and back deep for them it'll be number 19 Cook, Tito number 84, and Munitz number 27. And for the Hilltoppers doing the kicking, it'll be Josh Long, and Josh has got a great foot here for this Chardon program, an excellent kicker, and quite frankly, it might come down to special teams tonight. I think the teams are really that close.
I think you're right there, Eddie. And I'm looking at the flag there, and it's just limp. There's no wind to speak of out there. Like I said, field conditions are just flat out excellent. A little cold, but with the adrenaline pumping through your veins and all, you know, they're going to warm up real quick out there. So I don't think weather's a factor at all tonight.
Well, again, Chardon will be tested defensively. I talked with the coaching staff what they want to do tonight. And I think what they want to do is try to narrow the field of Willoughby South. Try to keep them between the hash marks where their speed and quickness can contain Willoughby South. So I think really if you allow the quarterback, DJ DeLandy, to run rampant on the field, it could be a long night for Chardon. But we'll see as we're getting ready to get week 2 of the state playoffs underway. And the kick is away to our left, and it's going to be Willoughby South from the 13-yard line. And up the middle of the field they come to the 28-yard line. The kick return by Eric Montgomery. It'll be first down for the Rebels. From there, not bad shape in their starting offense. It'll be quarterback DJ DeLandy, the junior at 5'11", 175. And in the backfield, he's going to have Jake Cook, number 19, a running back, a junior. Eric Montgomery will be split at wide receiver, number 34. Brian Palmisano, number 42, will be the right end, along with Jeremy Langan in the running back position, number 44. And Brian Pellegrini as the place kicker. Will give you the offensive front after this play. First and 10 for Willoughby South, running out of the tee. And they're going to go on the quick hitter up the middle. And a big play as Jake Cook gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage after a gain of about 1.
That was Kevin Neal coming up, plugging that hole real nicely, just putting his helmet right in the middle of the chest and driving it back. Very short game, maybe a yard and a half, that's about it. You see Neal just wrapping him up and dropping him right in his tracks.
Second and 9 coming up from the Rebels' 29-yard line. Their offensive front is Dan Woolridge, number 54, Mike Merar, number 57, Jeff Fink, number 58, Bob Ovens, number 77, Frank Allen, 78, and the Rebels looking to throw out on the flat, the screen pass, and it is caught at the ankles. A nice shoe-top grab on the play by Eric Montgomery. A short gain, though, on the play of only about 3.
I think one thing they're doing there, you saw the linebackers shooting from both corners there. With the one right after he delivered the pass, Delaney was hit on by Painter. You can see blitzing from his outside linebacker position. I think that might be a part of their strategy. They're going to fill gaps, shoot the guys, and just kind of keep Delaney contained in the middle there. Because you have to. He's a very dangerous and elusive runner.
Kevin Neal with the coverage on the previous play. It's a 3rd and 6 coming up for the Rebels. With the motion man, DeLandy, you're going to drop back, little screen pass out on the flat. It's incomplete, and it was intended for Jake Cook, and the coverage there again by Neal. It's a 3 and out for the Rebels, and Chardon should get the ball in some pretty decent field position.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how they wanted to start the game. 3 and out is exactly what they were going to do. As you can see here, again, the linebackers are coming in. They're not going to give them the time to deliver the ball. They're going to make him hurry passes, do whatever, and that's probably a good strategy of taking him out of this game. And so far in that initial series, at least, it seems to be working. We'll see what they can come up with as a twist on the offensive end of the ball.
Well, Pat McCauley is back deep for Chardon, along with Vern Hayward, number 19. The kick is away, and it is angled, and then comes back to the middle of the field. McCauley's going to take it from his 31-yard line with a nice return penalty marker down. Either that or just a marker from where he caught the football. It's brought out to the 45-yard line, and let's wait to see what we've got here on the field.
Yeah, they did a little twist up on that one. It was one stepped in front of the other, took it, and then Vern Hayward threw a nice little block, 33 in McCauley that we had to clip against Chardon, though, so nice little return's going to be nullified.
And from the spot of the foul with the flag placed at the 36-yard line, it'll put the ball back to the Chardon 21. We'll give you their starting offense while we have a minute. At quarterback, it's going to be Ben Kever, number 13. At the receiver positions, they'll have Pat McCauley, number 5. Brian Landis will be working the tight end spot at number 6. Vern Hayward will see him also on occasion. Colin Henderson in the backfield, number 21, with Kevin Neal, 33 at fullback. Dan Painter, number 40 at fullback. John Housen, number 43, runs out of the tailback spot, along with Matt Harsher, the tight end, number 44. So a lot of talent on this Chardon offense as they take over 1st and 10 at the 21. We'll give you the offensive line after this play. And again, out of the double wing. And Willoughby South has everyone within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage on defense. And Housen carries the first play for Chardon for just about a yard. For Willoughby South on the stop, number 53, Chuck Dybo. And the offensive starters for Chardon quickly, Chris Peshek, the guard, number 63, Jason Suey, the center, number 72, Jason Koyman, the guard, number 75, Nick Schussler, the tackle, 77, and Matt Arnold, number 79, at tackle.
You can see in that initial series there, Kevin called an audible, change of play, and Willoughby South adjusted, shifted their whole line over to nullify the audible that Kevin had just called.
Play fake, an attempt out on the flat from Ben Kevern, intended for Colin Henderson, and it falls incomplete. Chardon will have a 3rd down and 9 coming up. The coverage for Willoughby South by Eric Montgomery.
You see there, Kevin had plenty of time there, play fake action, fakes to Neal, and then he lofts the ball, just lofts it a little bit too high there.
Well, after the replay stopped, a bit of a late hit, but no call, no harm, no foul, and it's 3rd and 9 for Chardon coming up from the 22-yard line. Ben Kevern has the troops out of the double wing with the single setback. And on the misdirection, the ball carrier, number 21, Colin Henderson, short of the 1st down, out to the 29-yard line. And getting up off the pile for the Rebels on the stop, it's going to be number 44, Jeremy Langham. So Chardon on a 3-and-out. John will be kicking it back.
And unfortunately, I think they lost the field position game because of that clipping penalty. They pushed back, so actually Willoughby South's going to get it back in much better position than what they gave it up at.
Eric Clary to kick, and he's got a good kick away, and it's going to be taken at the 42-yard line for the Rebels. And up to the 44 they come. A 2-yard return on the play, and a host of Chardon defensive players on the tackle. The return on the play by Ben Munitz. And Willoughby South, as you mentioned, John's going to get a nice exchange on the field position. They'll start their 2nd drive from their 45.
Yeah, I think we had McCauley and Marsher led on that tackle there. Again, now the defense has got to dig in again, just keep doing. See what kind of adjustments. I'm sure there was some talk there. If they're going to be sending the linebackers maybe quick hitting passes, they might come out with to try to offset the loss of people back there in pass coverage. We'll see what South does to adjust to what Chardon did in the opening.
You know, DeLandy's going to keep it, and he's got some running room to the outside. DJ DeLandy to the 36-yard line. A tremendous effort. Pat McCauley on the stop for Chardon. And John, he just ducked under his big offensive front, found the opening, and took off to the outside for a tremendous gain.
That's a good description of what happened here. You'll see he kind of just bends over, gets lost in the shuffle there a little bit, then out he comes popping. You know, he finds a little lane. That's essentially what he does. He moves down the line of scrimmage, see where the little lane opens up, and just takes it and hits it quick. That's what they got to do. They got to seal those little gaps, not allow those lanes to open up. Force him to the outside where the defensive ends ideally can contain him.
And DeLandy with a 19-yard run, penalty marker down. He runs the sweep and has a lot of running room. One man to get by, it's McCauley, and he's down to the 15-yard line, but I have a hunch, John, this is going to come back.
Yeah, I think so, but bad thing about that, maybe there was holding on the corner, but he had that corner riddled easily. They gave him the wide open. He didn't even have to take it out wide. He cut it real close. See if we can pick up what the penalty was here.
Motion foul on Langham, 44, the wingback who moved before the snap. That's a big break for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, there's nobody outside there. He took that corner real easily.
Puts the ball back to the 41, brings up a 1st and 15 after the penalty. The first time either team's gone over midfield, and the Rebels at the Chardon 41. We're in the opening quarter, 8:29 to play. Andy Sevchik and John Walsh along with the GTV sports crew from Sparky DiBiasio Stadium in Euclid.
And this is our first real offensive action of the night so far.
Well, DeLandy again with the troops, going to run some misdirection. There's a big pop. The fullback, Jeremy Langham, got decked for a 1-yard loss.
With John Housen in there just shooting, filling one of those gap positions, plus getting into the backfield, dropping them for a little bit of a loss. It's the kind of play they need right now.
It'll be a 2-yard loss and bringing up a 2nd down and 17. And you're right, John, that could be a big momentum shift because you don't want Willoughby South really to penetrate any further here that they've done on the field if you want to get out of here with no points allowed.
Right, and exactly, the whole point is Delaney was just starting to kick it in gear, getting his running game together. They put him into pretty much a passing situation now.
Ben Munitz is the motion man. DeLandy to throw, being pursued. Puts it up over the middle, has a man on his knees, and what do they call? It is a completion at the Chardon 29-yard line to Brian Pellegrini, a junior with a great effort.
Not quite a first down, but he sure picked up a big chunk. Probably will leave him a 3rd down and 3, which opens up the options you can do on this. You see Housen getting the bead. Delivers that nice and low, where the only player that could catch it was Pellegrini.
Tim Coy with the coverage. 3rd down and 3 for Willoughby South, and I would tend to say, John, I think it's 4-down territory here for the Rebels this early in the ball game.
Oh, without a doubt. So like you said, they got 2 downs to get that 3 yards.
They have their power package in there. DeLandy's going to roll out. He got away. Turns the corner, has the 1st down and more down to the Chardon 20-yard line. Getting an 8-yard gain. Run out of bounds on the play by Pat McCauley along with some assist from John Housen. And they were very close to getting him in the backfield, John, but this kid's been killing us thus far early in this ball game with his speed.
Killing them outside, too. The thing is, they got to contain on those corners. Keep him trapped inside. Force him to make his play and cut it inside. You know, if he's going to beat you, make him do it there. Don't allow him the luxury of having the whole outside to sweep to.
The Rebels on a 1st down effort coming from the Chardon 20 in a scoreless ball game. The Division II Ohio State football playoffs. DeLandy going to hand off right up the middle. And Ben Munitz the ball carry, and there's nothing there. The Chardon defense is there for a 1-yard loss.
I think he got back pretty much to the line of scrimmage, I would think. No, I guess maybe you're right. They are marking it back.
Neal and Landy's on the stop. They put the ball right back down on the chalk line on the 20 for no gain. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, this is where the defense has got to dig in.
Well, in the ball game 2 weeks ago, Willoughby South jumped out to an early lead. Chardon had to battle back repeatedly throughout the evening before falling 20-12.
Yeah, they were always playing catch-up. They never had a lead in that ball game.
2nd and 10 from the Hilltopper 20. DeLandy going to throw, and the rollout. Blitz coming from the backside, and they pop him. Big hit on the play for Chardon, number 28, Matt Smith. And it's a loss all the way back to the 29, a 9-yard loss. It's going to bring up 3rd and 19.
That's the thing. They just sent the linebacker from the outside, and a straight blitz came in totally untouched. DeLandy stops the setup, and that's when Smith nails him.
Also credit the secondary for Chardon with the coverage. That delayed long enough that Smith can get in there to make the big play. 3rd and 19 for the Rebels on the Chardon 29. And this time they've got everybody split wide to the top.
Oh, yeah.
Chardon putting everybody in, little razzle-dazzle. They're looking to throw back the other way. Penalty flag down for a Chardon hold. And back at the 43-yard line.
They threw a flag right on the site, too.
Yeah, Ben Munitz gets dropped by Painter. Another penalty flag down there. This one at the bottom will be holding against Chardon as they basically mugged DeLandy.
Yeah, I think that pass was intended to be a pass to DeLandy. I think it was out of the old Dallas Cowboy playbook there is what they were pulling.
And we'll have to wait for the officials' call with 2 bananas on the field, 2 banana peels.
I'm not sure what that second one was. It might have just been a marking. He threw it from a long way away, though, but the only thing that possibly could have been there was face mask, and I don't believe Painter was up that high.
In a big conference going on at the Willoughby South 40. We know Chardon's going to get called for holding. That's one foul, but the other one we hope will go against the Rebels and offset. And here comes the referee with the decision. Oh, this is against
There
Chardon
was a
for face mask and holding against Chardon, and Willoughby South is going to come out of this smelling like roses.
I didn't think Painter was up that high where he could grab a face mask, unless he kind of slid across it initially, then went down. We'll see if we can see anything here. Yeah, I really couldn't tell from that replay.
Well, the ball was spotted after all the melee down at the Chardon 19-yard line, bringing up a 3rd down and 9, as that's what the stick says at the 19.
Well, both of them, the penalties happened pretty far back.
Yeah, the sad thing about that, John, is Chardon had the play covered. They saw what was coming, they knew it, and they were going to get a big loss, and unfortunately,
they just played it wrong, right.
And folks, that's why they're kids. Those things happen. And when you're making $18 million a year in the NFL, it's inexcusable.
Absolutely.
But even they do it too, John, so that's... You know, they're still having a conference, and we could call Western Union in here to figure out what's going on at the 19.
I wonder if somebody's questioning where the ball is actually spotted. That's exactly what they're doing. They're bringing it back.
Well, the first penalty also was a holding at about the line of scrimmage, because DeLandy was being held tremendously from the line of scrimmage, and it was 3rd and 19.
So that's a spot foul. That should take it up to about where it is then. The 10-yard penalty on the, if it was a line of scrimmage, because now we got 3rd and 9. I don't know.
Unless they're going to mark both of them off as both major fouls. And where's my OHSAA rule book when you need it? Here's the first penalty for the face mask. Down to the 24, and that's where they're going to spot it. And is that a 1st down automatic?
No, I don't know. Face mask isn't an automatic 1st down.
Well, they'd have done better to take the holding, quite frankly, John. Would have put the ball with the 19.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, it's a spot foul, and the holding was back at the 40. So they did wise to take what they did.
Oh, the holding was that far back?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
So 3rd down and 14 coming up for Willoughby South on the Chardon 24 after this mess is straightened out. DeLandy rolling out again. Has got time. Puts one up in the air to the corner, and it is dropped on the goal line. Ben Munich had the touchdown for Willoughby South, and he dropped it. And it's going to bring up 4th down and 14.
Yeah, you can see Battles was swatting at it. Missed it. Maybe he just blocked enough of his vision where he couldn't make the reception. Broke his concentration. Nice up front blocking. Look at the time DeLandy had up there. Yeah, he was turned, so it wasn't face guarding. He turned, but he got that hand there, and it might have been just enough to block the view where you couldn't pick it up. Because that was definitely a catchable pass.
Well, the Rebels are set up for a 41-yard field goal attempt by Brian Pellegrini. Snap is good. The kick is up. It's going to be close, and it is just under the bar. So the Hilltoppers dodge the bullet, and they'll take over on the exchange with 4:41 left in the opening period. We're still scoreless here in Euclid.
Yeah, that was a big hold by them. They were real glad to get out of that with no points being given up, and now they got to see if they can turn their offense on and start moving the ball. Because I'll tell you, like you said, they dodged one huge bullet there because South was moving the ball. They were getting the penalties coming their way. Everything seemed to be in line for them to get points on the board. They came away totally empty on that one.
So the Hilltoppers now with the opportunity. Let's see what the offense can do. Ben Kevern has the troops in the double wing. Here's the motion man to the bottom. And it's going to be the quick handout, and they pitch out. And Henderson, the ball carrier, he will have a Chardon 1st down across the 30 and out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Pushed out of bounds on the play for the Rebels by Jake Cook, and that's a gain of 12 and a Hilltopper 1st down.
Yeah, nice little inside duck that time by Henderson. You see him, he's kind of getting contained, losing the outside where he's going to get pushed out of bounds after he gets the pitch here. There's the pitch. Was that a forward? That was a pass, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was actually a completed pass. I have to watch your stats on that one. But then Henderson kind of did a quick little dip to the inside, got an additional 3-4 yards out of it.
Fullback carries this time. Matt Harsher, and he's got a nice gain out to the 37-yard line, a pickup of close to 5 for Chardon.
I think I was Painter on that 40.
My apologies.
That's okay.
Now, I'm not familiar with these kids because I'm on another station, John.
That's why I'm here, Andy.
Well, I watched last week's game about 12 times, so you think I would know these kids by now.
No, the question is, do you have the volume up or down?
Up. You guys did it. You guys do a great job every week, believe me. 2nd and 5 coming up for Chardon. Kevern going to hand off up the middle, and it's going to be close to the Chardon first down at the 43-yard line. The ball carrier again, Dan Painter, the fullback, the senior.
I think he's got the first. Yeah, they're waving it ahead. They opened up a nice little lane on that left side, and Painter just hit it quick. But there was a nice gaping hole open up. If they can blow it, oh, we should have a dynamite angle. You can see it from Painter's. Look at the hole he has open. The linebacker finally catches up to him. Anytime you can do that, open a big hole for your fullback, let him go one-on-one on a linebacker, you probably got a good, easy 4 yards out of that.
Henderson in motion to the top. Chardon with 1st and 10. Henderson out on the flat, and it's a little bit overthrown. Kevern had the time. He let him a little bit too much. It'll bring up a 2nd and 10. Willoughby South, who covered it well, but I think it was, had it been complete, John, they would have had some yardage.
Yeah, I think that was a good 5-yard play if Kevern hadn't thrown it just a little too far out in front of him. We got 3:28 left here in the first quarter of what so far has been a good ball game. We had the defenses dominating early. Offenses now are starting to catch up and move the ball.
About what we expected. I mean, you play the kids twice in 3 weeks.
We're going to have some points before this game's over. There's no
and Henderson with the misdirection cross midfield of the Willoughby South 49, a gain of about, we'll give him 8 on the play.
Yeah, he's at least a yard and a half shy of that first down marker.
Well, that Chardon offensive front did a nice job here, John.
Yeah, they did, and you get the good counter action. Good blocking, open it up, and Henderson just dove ahead for what he could get. So we got that 3rd down and 2.
Jeremy Langham on the stop a moment ago for the Rebels. Big 3rd down play for Chardon at the Rebels, 49. And Willoughby South crowding 7 men on the line of scrimmage. And a 1st down carry off the right side for Dan Painter to the Willoughby South 44-yard line, getting him off the pile, Jake Cook.
That looked like a duplication of the play, just that they ran on the left side there. They opened up a nice little lane there. Painter lowered his head, grabbed the 4 yards again. 1st down toppers. They got a good little drive going here. One that's eating up some clock, which I think is nice. That's a good strategy, too. It's a little cold out. Let Delaney get cold on the sidelines.
Keep the ball out of his hands. That's the key to this ball game. Henderson, again, the man in motion. Fake to Painter. Kevern holds it and loses a yard back to the 48. Actually, it'll be a 3-yard loss. And Bob Moore with a great effort defensively for Willoughby South. Chardon now behind the 8 ball, facing a 2nd and 13.
Yeah, you had too much penetration coming in on that right side of that Chardon offensive line there. They got into the backfield. Kevern did his fake, started to flow outside. There was nowhere to go. He had 2 guys down around his ankles.
Well, from right in front of us here in the booth at DiBiasio Stadium in Euclid, 2nd down and 13. And they're going to run Henderson on the counter. He gets about a yard down to the Willoughby South 47-yard line. And a bunch of Rebels getting up off the pile on the interior front, number 46, Brian Pellegrini with the stop.
Yeah, it's the same counter they ran last week against Louisville with Henderson running there. They had pretty good success with it thus far tonight, just like they did last week. Then they just kept running it till Louisville finally adjusted, stayed at home, filled that little lane. That's exactly what South did that time. They'll be back to it, though. It's a good solid counter play.
Hilltoppers on 3rd and 12. Kevern's going to keep it, trying to turn to the outside. Willoughby South, great pursuit. Kevern did well. They get 2 yards back to the 45-yard line, and he's dragged down on the play once again by Pellegrini. Chardon faces a 4th and 11 in a punting situation.
Yeah, like you said, that was just excellent. That was team speed out there. They just strung that thing out. Kevern kept taking it wider, finally realized, I'm going to just be at the sideline soon, might as well cut it up, try to grab a couple out of it. But if nothing else, Chardon gained back field position by moving the ball, getting the chains moving a few times. This punt should give them back, where they got nice field position in their corner now.
And Clary on to kick, and it's a good one. It's going to be Willoughby South at the 15-yard line. The return by Montgomery, and he gets back to the 19. And the Rebels will start from there on their 3rd possession in a scoreless ball game here in the 1st period tonight in Euclid.
Yeah, I think we had Painter and Gladwell in on that tackle. Painter wrapped him up around the ankles. Gladwell came up on top and helped him out on the tackle.
And this will be fun now to call it, John, as we have an obstructed view from this side of the field. So Willoughby.
So just move your head around the post.
Right. And first and 10 for the Rebels on the 19-yard line. And this is their worst starting field position of the night.
This may be the last play of the first quarter here.
And a run up the middle might have been Palmisano, the ball carry, and there's nothing there. And on the stop for Chardon, it appeared to be number 71, Joe Fisher. We're down to 15 seconds left in the opening period.
They actually marked it back a little bit. It was a loss of a yard on that play. So that clock ticking down under 5 now.
The Rebels are not going to get this one off.
No, they're in no hurry to get it off. There's the end of the first quarter.
Well, 12 minutes in the books here in week 2 of the high school football playoffs. Our score, the Willoughby South Rebels, nothing. The Chardon Hilltoppers, nothing. And again, that gives us an opportunity to mention to our viewers tonight and thank all of the fine GTV subscribers in Geauga County, in the city of Chardon, Chardon Township, Hamden Township, Munson Township, Burton Township, Burton Village, Middlefield Village for partially underwriting tonight's telecast. Also our major sponsors tonight, the Chardon Athletic Boosters Club, for their wonderful work that they do to get this program on the air. And we want to remind our viewers also that if there is a nonprofit organization from our funding area, they can send us their announcements of interest at GTV, Post Office Box 336, Chardon, Ohio. Our fax number is also at 440-285-9897, and our email address is geaugatv@compuserve.com. And Dave Jevnikar will do his best to get your announcement on the air. Try to give him a little bit of leeway too, folks. If you can get it in about 3 to 4 weeks in advance, that would be the best. So, John, your thoughts after one quarter in this ball game about what you expected?
Essentially, yeah. It's started out defensively, but I do figure each team is going to get 3, maybe 4 scores. I figure the game's going to be in the 20s for both teams is my prediction on this game. Offensive, it just started to move. Somebody's going to break one here soon, get some points on the board, and then we get the battle on. You know, it's kind of waiting for the first official shot to be fired.
While we got a minute, I'll mention the starting defense. Tim Coy, number 1. Corey Battles, DB, number 3. Pat McCauley, number 5. Brian Landy's number 6. We'll give you more of them after this play. And 2nd and 11 for the Rebels. And DeLandy is going to throw. Puts one up in the air. Timing pattern. A man is there and it's batted away. Tremendous effort by Corey Battles. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 11. And, John, that could be replayed to the youngsters because that's textbook coverage.
Yes, that was very good. He had coverage on the man, just kind of timed it out, leaped a little bit, slapped the ball down into the ground. He had a little bit of upfront pressure coming on him. Forced Delaney to throw it a little sooner than he wanted to. You see him reaching that arm out and just slapping it away. Good defensive coverage by Battles there.
And the rest of the starters for Chardon: Vern Hayward, number 19, Kevin Neal, 33, Dan Painter, 40, John Howson, 43, Nate Holy, number 60, Chris Peshek, 63, Joe Fisher, 61. On 3rd and 11, DeLandy to throw. Gets pressured. He's going to try to run for it now. Across the green he goes, and he only picks up about 2 or 3 yards on the play. Tremendous coverage again by the Chardon defense. It'll bring up a 4th and 8 from the Willoughby South 23-yard line.
Yeah, that was definitely a design pass. You can see DeLandy going out. He just got himself hemmed in a little bit, got too close at sideline. Tried to cut it back. Once you take away the momentum and speed and stuff, you know, you lose your sink and stuff, and he never just got back into it. Good job by that Chardon defense, forcing him to roll out that far.
John Housen doing a great job coming back on the play. Here's Pellegrini on to kick. Chardon puts a little pressure on him, and it's a good kick, and it's going to be taken by the Hilltoppers at the 38. It's Pat McCauley, and McCauley's going to be down at the 37-yard line. No return on the play, but again, I like this, John, because Chardon will start from the 37 with a 1st and 10, and 11:01 to go to the half in a scoreless ball game.
Yep, they got good field position out there. They just got the offense in gear. Their defense came out, had a big set that time, shut them down, 3 and out. I think this might be the first bullet fired I was talking about. I think Chardon should be pumped up, keep the momentum going, see if they can get that ball into the end zone, get on that scoreboard.
A 1st and 10 for the Hilltoppers. at the 37 of Chardon, and it's going to be Ben Kevern again with the troops out of the double wing. And Kevern on the quick hitter up the middle for Chardon to the 40. And I'm hoping that's Dan Painter, the ball carrier, and it was not. It was number 33, Kevin Neal, I believe. For a gain of about 3, it'll bring up a 2nd and 7.
Yeah, right position, wrong player. You just got to keep your eye. They shuttle back and forth. You got Painter in there, sometimes Neal. You never know. There's no rhyme or reason who's going to be in there. Just take a quick glance. If you see a 4 or 3, you know who the player is.
A 3rd down or 2nd and 7 for Chardon with Kevern under center. And they're going to run a sweep to Henderson. Henderson trying to turn the corner, cuts back for a yard gain. And he's tripped up on the play for the Rebels by number 27, Ben Munitz. Once again, it'll bring up 3rd and about 6 for Chardon from the 41.
Yeah, that time you didn't have much opportunity. Peshik leading the play, but there were like 4 guys he had the block on out there. Not much you can do is they strung that play out big time. They just got too much speed, I think, to the outside there. You're going to have to force it in a little bit, come just off of tackles or inside, or maybe even get that air game going some.
That's a big call for Chardon with a 3rd and 6 here. John from the 41. Again, out of the double wing, split to the bottom is Pat McCauley. Little razzle-dazzle. Kevern keeps it, trying to run for it, and he was not going anywhere. He lost a yard on the play on the stop for Willoughby South, number 59, Greg Snabel, and it's going to be 4th and a bunch for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that play was, but whatever it was, South seemed to know exactly what to do there, because there was just nothing there for Kevern to run to. You had people just staying at home and just waiting. It's like they'd seen that play, went through it in practice sessions, knew how to defend it, and just did what they were told.
And Clary with the punt, and there's nothing doing as the Hilltoppers cover it well. Matt Harsher with the stop. And the return there by number 27, once again, Ben Munitz. So no return, and it's going to be Rebels football on the 32, 1st and 10, and there were 9 minutes and 1 second of playing time away from the Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band show.
And now it's back into the Hilltopper defensive show, as the defense has got to get right back in the field. Their offense sputtered a little bit, wasn't able to get it turned around. They got to go right back to work, see if they can get it going here.
Maybe we could pick off a pass on a screen and take it in for a score. Let's see if I'm the prophet. Quick hitter up the middle. And there's not much there for Willoughby South, as that Chardon defense quick to the ball as Delandy tried to get the ball upfield. In there for Chardon, Pat McCauley, Kevin Neal, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and we'll say 9.
Yeah, they're shooting. Gosh, I think there's at least 2 linebackers shooting on every series here. They're just bringing everybody. I guess that's their strategy here, is just come up, fill all the holes, don't get pushed back. You know, that's what you got to do, and that's probably the best approach, that seal the outsides, and you got Delaney's running game covered.
He's going to run now. What's he going to do with it? Going to keep it. Looking to throw, gets nothing. He's dragged down at the 33-yard line, maybe a half a yard on the play. On the tackle for Chardon, it's Corey Battles.
Yeah, that could have been a loss, actually. They had that defensed well. There's a couple of missed tackles in the backfield there. See here, Smith coming in. Now went a little too deep that time, was able to just get a hand on him. Delaney, was a great block there. You can see Holy just got level. Got a super block from one of his linemen.
Jay Cook, the wide receiver, came back, John, and clocked him. 3rd down and 9 for Willoughby South from the 33, and there goes Cook in motion to the top. And Delandy going to roll out once again. That's been the playbook tonight. He throws a bomb ball, and it's batted away. Tim Coy with the coverage. And the intended receiver out in the flat looked to be Munitz, and it's going to be 4th down again for the Rebels. And John, the Hilltoppers doing a great job taking the passing game away from Willoughby South.
And that was just sweet coverage by Tim Coy back there. You can see he was playing the man, you know, and he saw the guy stop. Tim stopped along with him, turned, batted the ball away. Excellent defensive secondary coverage by Coy on that one.
So on to punt again for the Rebels is Brian Pellegrini, and these punters are going to have to get the sore leg by the halftime. Pellegrini gets the kick away, and it's a knuckleballer, and it's going to take a Chardon roll and will be down at the 34 we'll say the 33-yard line. The Hilltoppers will take over there with 7:21 to go to the half. And it's still scoreless here in Euclid.
Well, I tell you, that knuckleball description was very apt there, because that ball hit and then took a cycle back, came back about 1.5 yards, and then died right there. That was a weird punt that you got no action out of at all. It was just dead.
Looked like a mishit pitching wedge.
Boy, I've seen a lot of those.
First and 10 for Chardon officially from the 34. If you're just joining us, Andy Sefcik filling in tonight for Craig Dees along with John Walsh. And Kevin is sending Henderson in motion. Painter on the quick hitter and has a nice gain on first down of about 5 yards out to the 39-yard line. And that's key here for Chardon, I think, John, to get some nice yardage on first down.
Yes, yeah, well, that definitely opens up your options. He got about 4 on that one. But, yeah, that does open it up. If you can get real close in that third down play, they don't really know what to sit on and look. But the Hilltoppers got plenty of time. We're just under 7 minutes. Lots of time left to get a slow, methodical drive down the field.
Now 2nd and 6 for Ben Kevern and the troops from their 38-yard line, and Kevern's going to change up the play. Henderson moves a step over to the right. Kevern going to run the option. It's a live football, loose ball. Chardon's going to jump on it back at the 25-yard line.
Was that Kevern that fell on top of that?
And it was Kevern getting it back. Oh, that was nearly disaster.
Lucky. Yeah, that ball should have been pitched. No, actually, that was just a nice job. He really didn't see the guy penetrated, shot the arm out, was able to bat. That was just a good defensive play by
John
South.
Burak, the junior at 6'2", 190 from his defensive end spot. Third down now and 19 for Chardon, back at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, this isn't the position they want to be in.
And a quick hitter up the middle, maybe 2 yards on the play. And Dan Painter getting tripped up at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down and a bunch, and Willoughby South might come out of this one in pretty decent shape on the exchange.
Yeah, really, they might have gained a little bit of yardage here as Chardon actually took it and moved backwards a bit.
Well, our big plays tonight, we've had about 3 of them. 2 bats of the ball by the Chardon secondary, and then also the play there a moment ago by Burak. There's a short punt, and it's going to take a neutral roll, and it'll come to a halt at about the 48-yard line of Willoughby South. Their fans fired up about this one. 5:15 to go to the half. It's still scoreless, and the Rebels with their best starting field position of the night from their own 48-yard line.
Really, they got plenty of time left, too, as the Toppers, with that 3 and out, didn't eat up too much of the clock. They got 52 yards to go in little over 5 minutes, so that's a reasonable opportunity for the Rebels this time.
First down on their 48 for the light blue-clad Willoughby South Rebels. And off to throw once again, Delandy's going to keep it, and he turns the corner to midfield for a gain of about 2. And a bunch of Hilltoppers are there to put a stop to that effort. It's a 2-yard pickup and a 2nd and 8 coming up as we watch it again, John.
Yeah, that's essentially what you got to do. You got to turn them inside and let those guys make the tackle. You see, Battles was on him, McCauley was on him. You can't let them get outside of you. You got to turn inside. That's where all your people are coming from. Keep them contained within, and you know, if he gets his 2-3 yards, fine. It beats the 10-12 outside.
Delandy sending the motion man, Munitz, to the top of the screen, and he's going to throw. Delandy out of the pocket, now flustered to the top of the screen, puts one up for grabs, and it's incomplete and nearly intercepted by Vern Hayward. And the defense again for Chardon coming up big, John.
Yep, they put the pressure on him, made him throw the ball. Delandy was a little off. I think Hayward was a little surprised to see that ball come because he was back in the play, and I don't think he expected the ball to come through. You see good pressure there. Got him again pinned on the corner.
Kind of a poor throw, the first one of the night by Delandy. Overthrew his man, and that gave an opportunity for Vern Hayward almost to make the big play. 3rd and 8 now for Willoughby South at the midfield stripe.
Big play here for this Chardon defense.
And the referee timeout on the field for an equipment problem, and now it is going to be changed to a Willoughby South timeout.
They've got their full complement, so it's no big deal.
And it gives us a second to remind you that high school sports is just part of our programming lineup here on GTV this fall. Sports coverage continues into the winter, as we'll cover Berkshire, Cardinal, Notre Dame Cathedral Latin, and of course Chardon sports, including wrestling, basketball, and gymnastics. So check GTV regularly for replay dates and times. Holiday programs also are on the horizon. All this in addition to our community bulletin board service provided 24 hours a day on GTV. And a reminder again, during alphanumeric programming at 0, 20, and 40 on the hour, it is What's on GTV, our program listings.
I'll tell you, with that holiday schedule, until I started watching GTV, I had no idea how many Christmas carols there are in the world. But you watch enough of them, and there's thousands of Christmas carols.
Some of these music directors, I don't know where they find them. But back to football. We'll get back to music later with the Chardon Band in a few minutes, but it's 3rd and 8 for Willoughby South at midfield, and here comes DeLandy rolling out. He's got pressure, and he's down back at the 43-yard line. That's a loss of 8 yards on the play. Tremendous coverage for the Chardon defense.
That's exactly that. You got to attribute strictly to coverage, Sack. Because I'll tell you, DeLandy was set up. He could find nobody downfield to go to. He had enough time. You watch him, he's back there, he's set up, and then finally it just collapses on him. He's got nowhere to go, but that's because there was nobody downfield to throw it to. Great job by that secondary of Chardon.
Howson with the sack, and I got to give an attaboy to Dan Painter for his coverage on the running back out of the backfield.
Fair catch.
Chardon takes a fair catch at the 18-yard line. Pat McCauley has it, but you're right, John. That previous play, I watched it. You watched Painter come out with his man out into the flat, and that allowed Howson to get in there. And quite frankly, this DeLandy kid is so good. He looked off his 2 primary receivers, off to his 3rd receiver, and there was nothing there, and that allowed Chardon to nail him for an 8-yard loss.
The only thing that was there was a bunch of white shirts in his face, and DeLandy kind of just tucked the ball away and took his loss.
Now Chardon now here from their 18-yard line needs to be so careful in a scoreless ball game. And it's Neal, the ball carrier, for nothing off to the left side. The initial hit on the play, Bob Miller for Willoughby South.
Yeah, like you said, this is not a situation you want to, have a turnover or have the big losses and move the ball back any at all. Because, we're down to 3:18 on the clock end running. And pretty much, I think Chardon right now would be very, very content to go into the locker room with a 0-0 game. They'd love to get the first down, to keep the ball out of the South's hands, but I think I'd be perfectly content with that at this juncture.
Well, Kevern's going to run. The ball carrier, John Housen, who slipped down the turf, a gain of about a yard. And Brian Pellegrini is there for Willoughby South. He's down at the 19, bringing up a 3rd down and a long 9. 2:45 to go to the half, and Willoughby South with 2 timeouts remaining. Chardon with a full complement of 3.
They're going to save their timeouts till their offense gets the ball back. See what transpires here, because you still got plenty of time for the offense to use the timeouts then. Housen tried to cut that one inside, just wasn't able to keep his feet underneath him.
Well, Coy in motion, and then Chardon goes to the tailback. Eric Clary picks up short yardage out to about the 22-yard line. Willoughby South is going to burn one of those 2 timeouts with 2:20 left in the half.
That leaves them just the one, and they're going to get the ball back and start their offense at probably about the 2:05 mark.
Been a very good defensive struggle. Willoughby South with really the only opportunity back in the first quarter to get on the scoreboard. They had a drop pass on the goal line. The Chardon defense then stiffened. Willoughby South trying a 41-yard field goal by Pellegrini that fell just short of the bar, and we are having one heck of a defensive struggle. This is reminiscent, John, of the last playoff football game I worked for GTV when Kenston lost to Clyde 3-0 in the state championship game in '95.
There's a heavy-duty defensive struggle. I'll tell you, the one thing is here, like you said, they played 2 weeks ago. In essence, you're not going to change the character or what you do of your teams very well. So what it boils down to is the coaching staff has like a 2-week halftime to make adjustments to the other team, and that's what we're seeing. Normally, the adjustments favor the defense.
Eric Clary to kick for Chardon, and he gets away a good kick. And it should take a roll, hopefully, for the Hilltoppers. It won't. It'll be down at the 49-yard line. The refs now are going to mark it at midfield, downed on the play by Nate Mooney. And Willoughby South has 2:12 to go to the half, one timeout left, and they'll start from the Chardon 49 in a scoreless ball game.
Whatever happened to the punt that hits the ground and you get that positive yardage off it? These balls are hitting and just going straight up or dying right there.
That ball had the angle. I thought it would take about a 15-yard roll, but it didn't, maybe because of the soft mud.
It just went straight up in the air and just seemed to be coming back, possibly.
Now here's DeLandy again with the troops out of the tee this time, and he's going to roll out away from that Chardon pressure. Stops, throws one out on the flat, and it's incomplete. It was intended for Ben Munitz once again, and there's Tim Coy running stride for stride with him down the sidelines. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that secondary is doing a tremendous job today. It's like they sat there for 2 weeks looking at films of their pass routes, and they're just going to cover them. They're like blankets on top of them. Doing an excellent job out there.
So 2nd and 10 coming up for Willoughby South, and quite frankly, their play calling here might be dictated by that they only have one timeout left. They may not want to use the middle of the field.
I'm surprised they're trying to go deep so often, though, you know, because he is getting pressure. But they ought to really be throwing the shorter passes and stuff, though, you know, pretty much glorified run passes, 5-6 yarders.
Well, Munitz, the intended receiver there, he was covered, I believe, by Corey Battles. It falls incomplete. And it's going to be 3rd and 10. That time they tried a crisscross route with the 2 wideouts, John, and tried to confuse the coverage of Chardon, and it didn't work.
It takes a while, and I'll tell you, Delaney is getting his hits afterwards because they're bringing everybody on their rush. They're bringing linebackers from all over. You see Housen giving them a shot afterwards. Corey right there in cover. Corey he had good recognition of where he was on the field there. Did you notice that? Mm-hmm. He knew he could turn back to the inside because he knew he had the receiver run out to the outside. Excellent job there.
Using the sideline as a second defender.
Yep, he knew that's it. He's not going to come in. The only way he's going to come is inside to catch that ball.
Yeah, there's 3rd and 10 for the Rebels, and Munitz is back in motion to the top in the slot. DeLandy to throw. He cocks, throws it downfield, incomplete. Intended for Jake Cook and Coy. They both stopped on the ball, and it kind of floated over the top of both of the boys, John, and it's going to bring up 4th down and 10.
I think Coy mistimed his jump just there, but I'll tell you, Delaney is getting paid for. Housen again lays one on him.
I'll tell you, credit the young man. He's not that far off of hitting these guys for these long ones, John, and if it weren't for the tremendous coverage in the Chardon secondary, they might have had one already here tonight.
Yeah, that's very true, but boy, he's taking a licking, and that's what you want to do. You want to put the hurts on him when you can, and that's going to just slow him down when you get those ribs a little tender. Another fair catch called for by McCauley, I believe.
It was Pellegrini with another excellent kick. Chardon starts at the 17-yard line with 1:48 to go. A reminder again, the Chardon High School Marching Band Show coming up immediately following the gun here at the half. In this ball game, the Division II state playoffs on GTV. We are wonderful. It's just wonderful to be with you again in the booth. My first time doing Chardon football in 13 years. And thanks, Craig, for taking the night off. Let me fill in for you.
Yeah, I believe he's camping up in the Alleghenies or something.
It's got to be cold.
Yeah, I know. Ooh. He told me that. What's the matter with you? You camp in the summer.
Here's the carry up the middle. Dan Painter got to hold on to that football out over the 20-yard line for a gain of about 3.
I suspect you're going to see pretty much that same play called 2 more times because that's what they did on their other series when they were down here. Content to just try to move it ahead, eat some clock up, go into halftime, and I think we're going to just have the conservative play call to run out the half.
Well, again, Chardon will get the ball to start the second half as we see the run by Painter a moment ago. So that's a break. Again, the coaches will have the full 20 minutes to make some adjustments, and Chardon to get the ball first in the second half. On the misdirection, Kevin hands off. And I think that might have been possibly Eric. No, it was Henderson, the ball carrier, for no gain. On the stop for Willoughby South, again, the pesky number 46, Brian Pellegrini, a tremendous all-around talent for Willoughby South.
Yeah, they're giving another try to that counter. Again, that's it's not the fullback up the middle, but it's a pretty safe play, you know. If you do lose on it, you're going to lose a couple yards. That's going to be about it.
And it's 3rd and 7 coming up. The clock continues to run, John. We're down to 35 seconds.
This could be our last play of the half since South has no timeouts. Chardon's not going to hurry out to kick the ball if they don't get anything here.
Kevern going to run the sweep to Coy. Coy is going to be dragged down back at the 17-yard line. The Rebels still have 1 on the clock to take. And we have an obscured view, and I think they're going to burn that last timeout. Coy loses 3, and there's a penalty marker down on the line of scrimmage. 18.4 left on the clock.
Again, that was so strung out there. There was no room at all for Coy to do anything.
Legal procedure against Chardon is the preliminary signal.
Talking to South.
I think you decline it, take a timeout, and try to go after the punter, John.
And they did decline. Yeah, that's probably your best shot, is to try to go for the block right now. Because if you don't do that, in essence, what you're saying is we got 1 or 2 big plays to hit. You know, that's about all the time they're going to have for it, is 2 maximum plays, and we got to hit one of them for the pay dirt.
Again, a minute to thank some of our major sponsors, Connecticut Incorporated, our good friends Junction Auto Sales, Route 44 and 322, Clemson Excavating, and Residence Artists Incorporated. And just some of the people here tonight, John, that are bringing you Chardon Hilltopper football. And again, we want to remind you that our cable cast is funded by our underwriters, but we'd also like to thank all of the GTV funding communities for their year-round support. We mentioned them earlier. We're thrilled to be able to continue to bring you local public service programming with special emphasis on these communities. Thanks again for supporting GTV, and thanks to our viewers for their support. The response has been absolutely wonderful, and I think I would concur with Dave Jevnikar's well wishes to our viewers as well.
Okay, let's see how well you've been watching the game. I was just informed. Guess what number punt this is for the game?
Just 13.
Oh gosh, that's way overboard. This is the 11th.
11th? Well, that's only 2 over. That's not too bad.
That's a lot of punts.
That is. They come after him. Clary gets it away. Fair catch at the 40. And you got to say, with the arm of DJ DeLandy, you might see a Hail Mary or 2 to the end zone and hope for a foul, maybe even get a field goal range.
Hopefully they watch the Browns game and know how to defend the Hail Mary pass.
That game sickened me. But that stuff happens, folks. Maybe that's just an omen of maybe the Browns are going to get that bad stuff out of their system and only good things to follow in the future, I hope.
Well, that also shows you play 60 minutes in the NFL. And 48 in high school, and we got about 13 and a half seconds left in this first half.
You know, it's maybe 2 Hail Mary balls, or possibly, again, a reminder that in high school ball, a first down stops the clock.
He's going to try to kick one here, isn't he?
Well, they'll get a free play on a fair catch.
Yeah.
This is a free kick from the 40. And the referees are going like, hey, wait a minute. Just a minute. Chardon wants to take a timeout.
So this is a 50-yard field goal attempt, but with no block.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's one of these obscure high school rules where they get a free kick on a fair catch.
I think that's in the NFL too.
Yeah.
I think you can do that in the NFL if you take that.
Does it count for 3 if it goes through, John?
Sure, it's just a field goal. Just a plain field. It's probably not, if he's got enough leg, you got no rush at all. It's 50 yards, but...
Now, if they miss it, Chardon takes over at the 40, correct?
Yeah. Oh, sure. Just like any missed
like
field goal, you get it right there.
So I'll tell you what, this is tremendous.
This is good thinking.
Yeah.
This is a good coaching here, good thinking, knowing the game, knowing the rules, and knowing what your kicker can do. We'll just see if it pays off for him.
Coach Sam Fornsaglio at Willoughby South. The troops at 9-2 on the season, setting up for the free kick, and apparently Chardon has to give him a 10-yard leeway. And this is just zany.
And I'm sure they were informed exactly where they had to go on that. I wasn't sure exactly where
now they changed their mind. Now they've decided against it. The referees, I don't think, know what's going on. This is just bedlam here in Euclid tonight.
I think as far as rules, Chardon's taking another timeout. I think the problem is here, as far as rules go, this is one of those esoteric ones that people, you just don't see it very often.
I think Jim DePolfe's probably got Excedrin Hedrake number 44 right now because he is just probably miffed. I'm sure they know what the ruling is. They're aware of this, but it's not often you see it. And in 19 years of announcing high school football in Northern Ohio, I've never seen this.
This is my first appearance and watching many games too, not just the announcing it, but watching a lot of games. This is the first time I've seen anyone exercise this rule.
This is something like Beechwood would have done in the early 90s with their program. They actually ran that offense that Mississippi Valley State did with a center, a guard, 2 guards, a center, and about 7 wide receivers. And it was effective for them back in the early 90s, but Willoughby South now going to more of a traditional football set in a Hail Mary type of play with 3 wide receivers split to the bottom. But again, Chardon has to be careful for the little dink pass over the middle.
Wonder why they decided not to here.
You know, DeLandy's going to drop straight back. There's Hail Mary ball number 1 to the end zone. It's batted up and away on the defensive effort. Tim Coy, and the receiver intended for the ball was Brian Pellegrini. So Hail Mary number 1 is not effective, and with 7.6 seconds left in the half, we'll try for number 2.
Possibly they might be able to sneak in 2 plays. It just depends. You see Coy was back on that one, read it, and then came forward to knock it away and slapped it down. Not tipped it up, but slapped it down, which is what you got to do.
Stadium in Euclid, Ohio. We are at the halftime of this Division II state playoff game. Still scoreless between Chardon and Willoughby South, and our apologies. Leading into halftime, a power failure here at the stadium caused us to go down off the air. We apologize that we missed the Chardon band show, but again, we also missed one play. John, and fill in the viewers about what we missed.
Well, you missed one more Hail Mary pass. It was essentially pretty much a duplication of the previous one. Delaney faded back, had some pressure, winged the ball, got it down to the 10, 15-yard line. Again, Tim Coy was standing there, batted away. Clock went to 000, and that's where we are right now. So there was no play of significance. Unfortunately, we did miss the Chardon High band, and we apologize for that.
And we also want to thank all of our big underwriters tonight for this telecast of Chardon High School Hilltopper football, especially those folks at the Connecticut Incorporated in Newberry Township. Our good friends at Junction Auto Sales at US 322 and Ohio 44. Also Junction Auto, Buick, Pontiac, GMC trucks. Clemson Excavating and Thompson Drag Raceway. Residence Artists Incorporated. Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service. Also A.J. Goulder Electric Company. The Meadows Apartments, along with Home and Business Storage. Marcy's Hair on the Square, their new location at 135 Main Street, and an excellent dining area, the Hilltopper Full Service Restaurant in Chardon. Chardon Square Auto and Body, and Howder's Lawn and Sport on Water Street in Chardon and West High in Middlefield. Flowers by Roger at the Cherry Center. Northeastern Kitchen and Bath Company on Mayfield Road. Good friend Dan McCaskey at Century 21 on the Square Realty Incorporated. And the great group at Hamden Building Products. Also our special thanks to the Chardon Athletic Boosters Club, funding all sports at Chardon High and Chardon Middle School. Join the Boosters. We do great things for great kids, and your help is always needed. And by, of course, GTV, local community programming for northern Geauga County, Burton Township, Burton Village, Chardon Township, the city of Chardon, Hamden Township, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township.
Okay, got some first half stats, and we can go through real quick. Right away, we got total offensive number of plays. We're 24 for each of the squads, so I'm assuming time of possession was probably equal. Total offense, Chardon 42 yards for the first half, which sounds terrible until you hear South. South's total yardage was 35 net yards first half. Kevern was 1 for 3 in the passing department. Delaney was 2 for 12. real quick running down. Neal, 3 carries, 4 yards. Henderson, 5 carries, 18 yards. Well, we'll wait till the kickoff and then finish off these stats.
And the kick is away by Brian Pellegrini, and it's going to be taken by the upback for Chardon, number 5, Pat McCauley. McCauley trying to dice his way through the Willoughby South coverage to the 18-yard line. Go ahead, John.
Okay, we got Painter at 7 carries, 25 yards. Kevin, 4 carries for -17. Clary, 1 carry for 3 yards, and Coy, 1 carry for -3. On the south side of the ball, we had Cook, 1 carry, 2 yards. Delaney, 8 carries, 19 yards. That's the key one for Chardon's defense. Langham had 1 carry for -2. Munitz had 1 carry for 0 yardage. And Palmisano had 1 carry for -1 yard. So far it's been total defense for both squads.
Well, Dan Painter's going to take the opening carry of the second half for 4 yards off the left side out to the 22-yard line. Tackled on the play for Willoughby South. The defender coming up to make the play is Nick Totillo. And it's going to bring up a 2nd and 6. And I'll tell you, those defensive numbers are getting close to state record for lowest total net yards for 2 teams in the playoffs. I think that Kinston game I did versus Clyde had an aggregate total of 192 for both teams, and it may be a state record, and if we keep this up, we may break it.
Well, we had 77 for 2 teams in 1/2 a play, so that's at a record pace, if what you're saying is true.
Now Dan Painter again tries the right side for a couple yards out to the 25, and getting up off the bottom of the pile for Willoughby South is Greg Snavel once again. Pickup of 3, bringing up 3rd and 3 at the 25.
And you know the thing about it, here you can see Painter getting up here. Good gain, brings up to that 3rd and 3, but the important thing is the second series of offense for each of the team, I bet there was the bulk of their yardage. They both had real good. After that, the defenses just totally took over.
Now Kevin with the troops out of the double wing. Painter's going to try it, and there's nothing there on the left side. The Rebels able to stuff it for a 1-yard loss. On the interior front for Willoughby South, making the stop. And it looked to be possibly number 34, Montgomery. It's going to be a 4th and 3 for the Hilltoppers at their 25.
And the South defense just picks up where they are. They just stuffed it. You can see penetration. They just got in there real big time. Stuffed it right into the backfield. He actually lost a yard on that. This is, South is going to get some field. Uh-oh, you got problems on it. Good job by Clary getting a hold of that one, getting it off.
And it's going to be returned by Montgomery. Montgomery's going the wrong way. He goes back to the 35-yard line, losing 2 yards on the return for the Hilltoppers. On the tackle looked to be number 26, Ben Wolf. And a big break there for Chardon because Clary did a nice job picking up the low snap.
Yeah, he definitely, that could have been total disastrous there. And then he finally got some forward roll out of it, juking around back and forth. See Marsher misses him, and Battles finishes him off there.
Willoughby South starting their initial possession of the second half in this scoreless ball game tonight on GTV. Andy Sefcik with John Walsh in the booth tonight. Our good friend Craig Dees, the voice of the Hilltoppers on GTV, has the night off. And DeLandy, they've contained him quite well, and they go up the middle on the run this time, and there's nothing there for the Rebels.
No, he pretty much got back to the yard of scrimmage, maybe a foot or so, but that's about it. They stuffed that hole.
Painter and Landy's on the stop for the Hilltoppers. No gain, brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, defenses are just taking right over where they left off in the first half. It's going to be difficult. I think what we're going to end up here is just somebody's going to break a big one. You know, I think these defenses are dominated so much tonight. You're not going to get the drives put together. You're going to have to hope that you can break the one big play.
DeLandy's going to keep it on the option. He got popped and he got the ball off. And the Rebels with a giant gain, could be a big yarder, and it is. The ball carrier, Jake Cook, getting the pitch, and he takes it all the way to the Chardon 25.
I don't know how he got that pitch off. Hopefully we got a replay on this one. I'd like to see. He had to be almost on his way down when he got rid of that one. Ducks inside there. Oh yeah, he was just hit and pitch, kept his concentration on that, knew he was going to take the hit. Great job by Delaney on that one.
The Willoughby South with the first big play of the night. The tackle by Pat McCauley, and they're at the Chardon 25, 1st and 10. Throwing one out in the flat. It's going to be picked. And it's Pat McCauley, and he's got running room.
He's got one man to beat. One man to beat.
He's got a chorus of Hilltoppers. He's going to go all the way. Pat McCauley.
No, flag it. I think they're calling that a clip, and that was not a clip. That head was clearly in front of him.
Well, right now, Pat McCauley's got a 78-yard interception return, but pending the flag down on the play.
If they call that a clip, I won't believe it. We'll watch the replay and watch the block, because I think that's the only thing they really could have called, and that was a clip. What a great pick. Good presence to get his feet in and not touch the sideline.
And off the camera, the penalty is against Chardon for an illegal block.
It was Howson and also...
It was Smith throwing the block there. I honest to God, he was in front of him. It wasn't too low. It started out about the waist, but they're marking it as a, what do they call that, illegal block?
Block below the waist, and they put the ball back to the Willoughby South 30. So an 81-yard touchdown return by Pat McCauley. He'll only get credit for a return of 51 yards, but quite frankly, we'll take it.
Oh, without a doubt, because that totally reverses it, gets you in a good field position, hopefully gets you pumped up where you can use this.
Keverin's going to
roll out left.
Looking to throw. He's got some running room. Needs a block. Turns the corner. He's to the 30. Down to the Willoughby South 21-yard line. A nice gain of 9 on the play, and he's run out of bounds on the play by Ben Munitz. It'll be 2nd and short for the Toppers. Let's call it a 1.5 yards on the Rebel 21. John.
There, they opened it up a little bit this time. Went to the pass. You know, looking for it this time, which opened up the run, because it just opened that whole side. Coverage men had to drop back. Linebackers had to respect the pass, drop back as well. Open up the whole corner there for Kevin to get a good gain out of it.
Here's the 2nd and 1 on the Willoughby South 21. Kevin going to hand it off. And a big stuff on the play of Kevin Neal. The tackle there by Pellegrini. It'll be a no gain or maybe a loss of a yard. They'll spot it for no gain. It will be 3rd and 1 for Chardon on the Willoughby South 21.
There was nothing there. His own man, actually, the pulling guys got out in front of him there, slowed him down. So he had to slow down, let them by, and it just disrupted the entire play. Gain of nothing. At least he was able to get himself back to the line of scrimmage, because we're 2-down territory here, so Toppers got to get that 1 yard in 2 plays.
Here's the 3rd and 1 from the 21. And it's going to be the keeper for Kevin, and he's got the first down at the Rebels' 13-yard line.
And then some.
Great play call for Chardon, and they move the sticks. They'll spot it on the Rebel 14 as we watch it again.
Boy, this changed the whole complexion of the game here. So we had South moving it well. They got their big pitch out play. Chardon comes right back at him with a big defensive play on the McCauley interception. And they're moving the ball again here. They got confidence. They smell it.
Kevin has the troops at the 14-yard line. Clary is in motion. Henderson on the little draw, and he's down to the Rebel 2. Colin Henderson dragged down, and they'll spot it on the 3. The tackle on the play by Ben Munitz. And Chardon's got a 1st and goal in their first appearance in the red zone tonight.
And that was just an excellent job. You'll see Henderson get spun around, drives with his back there. It goes the last 4 or 5 yards, just backpedaling in towards the end zone.
Here's the 1st and goal for Chardon from the Willoughby South 3. It's a full house backfield for the Hilltoppers.
And they got that middle stuff. They're looking for up the middle, which they're probably going to see.
Neal is going to work his way to the 1. He leads in for the Chardon score.
Second effort. They had him wrapped up, and he just kind of drove off his legs, leaned his body in, and got into the end zone. And I'll tell you, that finally breaks the scoreless tie we got going. And at the way this game has been going, 6 points could about do it.
Kevin Neal on the replay getting Chardon on the board, and he is just barrel up
there. He's absolutely stopped. He just drives, and leans his frame into the end zone. Good job.
Josh Long to try the extra point. Kevin Tohold gets it down. It's a line drive kick, and they got it. So Chardon, with 7:06 to go in the third quarter here tonight in Euclid, takes the lead in this Division II state playoff football game. It's the Hilltoppers 7, the Rebels nothing.
Yeah, it was one of those classic cases of two defenses just battling against each other and just see which one would blink first, and I guess it ended up being South because McCauley sure made sure that it wasn't the Chardon defense that was going to that big-time interception he had there and a whole sideline in front of him.
And, I mean, you couldn't have such a greater shift in momentum, John. I mean, they come off of that ball, Willoughby South does. Cook with about a 50-yard run with the pitch out. They have 1st and 10 at the Chardon 25. Then they try to go to the jugular vein, did the Rebels. And, of course, back there was Pat McCauley waiting for it. He turned the ebb and flow of this game totally around to the other sideline. Chardon takes it down the field with a 30-yard drive off the intercept. They take the lead 7-0. And after what you would say, honestly, was a boring first half, unless you like good defensive football, the second half has come out, and it's been like the 4th of July with the fireworks.
Well, so far, well, I'm sure Chardon will go back to that boring football if they can, without a doubt.
I agree. They'll
with
take
7 points on the board, you want to go back to nothingness. You know, they'd be super happy to have it turned right back into that pure defensive struggle.
Well, it has been the defense tonight that has played big for Chardon. We mentioned it all night. And we thought, John, at the halftime, as we talked while we were trying to get the electrical power back on here, that we thought maybe a defensive play might be the difference tonight. And thus far it is, with Chardon leading Willoughby South 7-0. Long to kick off. And for the Rebels from the 9-yard line, it's going to be Jake Cook. Cook up the middle of the field, gets popped at the 19, a return of 10. And on the hit for Chardon, it looked to be number 28 on the stop, Matt Smith once again.
Yeah, what really helped out on that one was Long got his foot into it big time that time. The receiver had to backpedal. He lost his momentum there, allowed the time for the Chardon defenders to get downfield, and they made the play.
And you see the Hilltoppers fired up now with possibly the momentum going their way. Willoughby South will start trailing 7-0.
This is a big series. They want to shut them down. They just totally keep everything going their direction.
Up the middle, they run the counter. And the ball carrier, Brian Palmisano, has a nice gain out to near the first down stick. 9-yard pickup. And it'll be a half a yard short. It'll bring up a 2nd and 1.
Unfortunately, that ball is pretty much right on the line there. Yeah, I'd say that's a real short half yard. It's probably in the inch category. That was a 9.8 yard gain.
A 2nd and less than 1 for the blue-clad Willoughby South Rebels. And the quarterback keeps it. DeLandy has the first down at the 31-yard line, a 1.5 yard pickup, stopped on the play by Dan Painter. Rebels move the sticks. They're first down here with 6:23 left in the third. It's 7-0. Chardon in the lead.
And Chardon defense wanting to dig in and stop them right down here. Yeah, the excitement is picked up on both sides of the stands. You can just feel it. They just got a little electricity from the big play from South. Chardon came right back in it, and of course they finished it off with the 6 points into the end zone.
I know the fans appreciate a lot of them with cold feet at the halftime. And here's the pitch out. It's going to be Palmisano turns the corner, and he is out close to another first down. And I believe he'll have it at the 42-yard line. Brian Palmisano, who was so quiet in the first half, 2 nice runs here, and he has another first down for the Rebels.
Yeah, they just got to kick in. This is part of the adjustment they've been making. Just they saw what the defense was taking away from them, which essentially was Delaney, so they're just expanding on their core offense and running a variation of plays to try to offset that. I'm sure we'll see Delaney back in as the feature back, if you will, real soon here. But right now, you know, if this is working, they're just going to keep milking it.
First down again for the Rebels. And it's going to be the option this time. DeLandy keeps it for a short gain of about 3 out to the 44-yard line. Hilltoppers out there on the play. Vern Hayward along with Kevin Neal. And DeLandy picks up, we'll give him 2, being generous. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, they strung that out fairly decently there and allowed him just a little bit of the corner to held him to a 2-yard gain. And I'm sure anytime you can hold Delaney to 2 yards going outside, take that as a victory.
Yeah, Paul Masano, the leading rusher for the Rebels at 671 yards on 131 attempts during the regular season. 5-yard average, 7 touchdowns, so he's the go-to man if they're going to run the football. And it's 2nd and 8 for the Rebels from their 44. Paul Masano going to go to the second man through. The ball carried Jeremy Langham, and he's got short yardage of about 2 yards to the 46-yard line. There's Painter on your screen getting up off the pile along with Kevin Neal, number 33. It's going to bring up 2nd and 6. 3rd and 6, my apologies.
Yeah, this is the big play here for the defense. Probably their biggest one of this half so far. You know, where they got to just dig in, hold them, get that ball back, and hopefully their offense is still fired up, because after the interception, they were pretty solid. You know, they were opening up little lanes, running, shoving it right at them, and finally pushing it in the end zone.
Well, the Rebels 9-2 on the season, PAC football champions. Their 4th playoff appearance, 5-3 overall. And here's the 3rd down and 6. Paul Masano going to roll out. Or Delandy, my apologies. Penalty flag down. Misdirection play, and it's incomplete. Coy with the coverage again on the receiver. Ben Munitz, and we'll wait for the penalty call. It's there from the line judge.
Yeah, I would assume that might be a holding out there. I don't see him talking to one team or the other. Now a push off. We had a push off against South. Probably will be declined. The Hilltoppers will take the punt and get the ball right back. Declined, yes.
So 4th down and 6 will be the call from the 46-yard line. Chardon's going to send back Vern Hayward in single safety back at about the 25-yard line. And on the kick will be Brian Pellegrini, who's had a nice job of his punting tonight. Almost attempted a darn 50-yard field goal before the half on that free kick, but an official's timeout being taken. 3:49 to go in the 3rd. Glad you could join us on GTV. Chardon leading Willoughby South 7-0, and that was on a 3-yard run by Kevin Neal here in the 3rd quarter. And they're in the position where they may go for it. Now they open things up. And now they double shift again. Chardon setting up with a 4-man front, and Pellegrini puts it downfield. It's going to take a good roll, and it's going to be picked up at the 13-yard line, and not much there, maybe to the 21 for Vern Hayward. Not a bad return of 8 yards.
Yeah, really,
Chardon will start there 1st and 10.
He really didn't have much room to get anything. He was very fortunate to get any yardage out of that one. Boy, this would be the time for one of those patented Chardon drives that could just nail it. Get one of those 8-9 minute drives and end up in the end zone. That could be the ball game.
Well, the winner of this ball game, looking ahead, if it's not too early, will meet the winner of Youngstown, Cheney, and Green, who are playing tonight at Beloit West Branch. That ought to be a good football game.
I thought somebody was saying that was Green up 14-0. And I think Cheney's they're the number 2 seed in the region.
Green, a tremendous football team. Kevin goes on a quick hitter. I'll tell you what, Dan Painter had an opening, and then it closed quickly, as filling the hole was Brian Pellegrini.
Boy, he did do a good job filling that hole, because there was an opening there. And Painter could have rambled downfield for a good 15, 20 yards, I bet, if Pellegrini had slid across and filled it.
1-yard gain. It brings up 2nd and 9 for the Hilltoppers. And they're in the white road uniforms. They'll probably be that way all the way. There is a 5th seed with the red helmets, the black pants, Willoughby South in the home powder blue uniforms. And in motion for Chardon is Clary, and here's the handoff. Painter comes up the middle to the 25-yard line, about a 3-yard pickup on the play, 6 yards short of the 1st down. On the stop there for Willoughby South, John Brown, along with a couple other of the Rebels. It'll bring up 3rd and 6.
Yeah, this is not where you want to be this deep in your own territory with a 3rd and long.
Well, we had Painter running a couple of nice plays on 1st down in the 1st half where you'd like to get about 5 yards if you could, John. And right there, they get 3. That's not what you really want. It's 3rd down and 6 for the Toppers.
No, that's not their brand of football.
Kevin rolling out, going to try to keep it, turn the corner, tight ropes the sideline. There's the whistle. He's short of the 1st down at the 28-yard line.
Yeah,
run out of bounds by Brown, and he's 3 yards short. It'll be 4th and 3 for Chardon.
Yeah, he must have just stepped on that sideline a little bit there. Try to tightrope his walk around it here. See if we can see where his foot steps out. He's got the pressure, gives a little fake to try to draw him back. Yeah, I can't really see where he stepped out. Referee's got it spotted though.
Now back deep, number 27, Ben Munitz, along with Eric Montgomery to return this kick.
This would be a nice one to let hit on the ground and get a good roll out of, get some yardage.
Clary
South's going to end up with good field position.
It's a nice kick from Clary at the 41-yard line. It's taken by Munitz. Munitz has got a little bit of running room, and he's spinning around there like the Tasmanian devil. He gets a yard to the 42, and that's where the Rebels are going to start with 2:08 left in the third quarter, and the Hilltoppers leading Willoughby South by a 7-0 score.
And putting the ball again in their defense's side of the court here. They want the defense to hold. They have done one tremendous job today, but I tell you, the South team's explosive. They can do it one play, they can all of a sudden even up the score. So it'd be kind of nice for the offense to get it back, keep the ball for a while so the defense can get some rest.
They've been using Paul Masano regularly. Here's the sweep, looking to throw, man breaking against the pack, and it is up in the air and it's incomplete. Wanting a penalty flag, but that's not the call. It was tremendous coverage once again on the reception attempt. It was intended for Jake Cook, and the Chardon defense was there again.
I think Battles made contact about the same time the ball did, and that's how the referees saw it as well. See if we can see on the replay exactly how tight that was.
We even saw DeLandy going out in the pass route.
Well, they'll use him wherever they can. Yeah, that's pretty simultaneous hit. That's pretty darn simultaneous. The ball hit the receiver's hands same time that Battles hit him. So there was a good no call by the referees on that one.
Second down, 10 coming up for the Rebels from their 43. DeLandy's going to try to run, takes off, comes up with about a yard gain, and that ball come out of there. No, it didn't. It'll still be Rebel ball after a 1 yard gain. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 9 for Willoughby South. And John, you got to like this in Chardon's defense, constantly putting Willoughby South in 3rd and longs here in the second half.
Yeah, they have been doing a good all game actually. They've pretty much taken, and that's the guy they've taken out of the game right there. They've honed in on him. They got burned a little bit on a couple big plays, Palmisano and others, but for the most part, they've contained DeLandy extremely well, and it's paid off. We have a 7-0 ball game.
Joe Fisher on the tackle a moment ago from his defensive line spot. 3rd down and 9. In motion is Munitz. And DeLandy rolling out, steps up in the pocket, throws it downfield. The man is there, and it's dropped. Ben Munitz had beaten the coverage for the first time tonight. And that one, I don't know, it couldn't hit him any better, right in the hands, and he dropped it.
Yeah, that was a big break for Chardon there, because like you said, that should have been a reception. That ball was very catchable. DeLandy put it on the money. He had a little time that time as well. You see, he had him beat, laid it right out there, wasn't able to pull it in.
What a contrast in styles. Willoughby South running their offense like the old American Football League. Chardon running it like the old NFL and Woody Hayes football. And then thus far, it's working out to their advantage. 7-0. There's the kick from Pellegrini. And Chardon's going to let it roll, and it's going to go inside the 15-yard line to about the 13. And Chardon's going to be pinned up to the shadow of the goalpost inside the 15-yard line on this possession with 53 seconds left in the third quarter and a 7-0 Chardon lead.
I think we had some indecision there. That ball should have been caught. But I think it was one of those they were thinking about the fair catch and kind of backed away from the ball a little bit. They should have called the fair catch and just caught it and not allowed that ball to roll further down the field. Now the offense, which they really need to control some of that clock, they're kind of backed up here and limited as to what they can call, because you can't call a play where you can have all kinds of errors happen on it. Because you don't need those down in this territory.
House at the ball carrier right up the middle, and he brings it out to about the 17-yard line. Tackle on the play appeared to be Joe Schneider for Willoughby South. It's a gain of 5, brings up 2nd and 5 on the 17-yard line.
Yeah, that's a good opening play there. You got good yardage out of it, close to 5 yards, yes. and Henderson just drove forward, which is what you got to do, and you got to try to reach those stakes and move them a couple times so your defense can get rest and plus field position back.
Kevern's going to run the option, keeps the football and brings it out to the 23. It's a Chardon first down, a 6-yard pickup. That'll move the sticks. And there's 11 seconds left on the clock in the third. And John, when they get the sticks set, they'll run out the clock.
They settle, and that's exactly what they need to do, because I'll tell you, it's not so much the physical taxing on the defense, it's the mental, you know, the stress of one breakdown and, you know, this ball game's tied up. So you need to give them that mental rest from playing defense.
And we've got a classic playoff game in the history of Chardon football going on here tonight in Euclid as we've completed the third quarter of play. Our score, the Chardon Hilltoppers 7 and the Willoughby South Rebels 0. And John, wow, what a ball game.
Yes, hold on to your seats. We got one more great quarter coming up with what's turned into just a battle of two packed rivals, you know, and it's been a great game so far.
Well, again, we reiterated they met approximately 2 weeks ago in week 10 of the football season. The Rebels defeating Chardon 20-12. Willoughby South led that game throughout. Chardon had to continually battle back from about a touchdown down. Tonight, though, the tables are turned. Chardon got that ever-important first score, John, and the defense, coming off a great performance at Louisville last week, has continued to do the job this week against the Rebels. And they have really shut down a tremendous offensive football team. If they can do it for 12 more minutes, they'll be looking pretty good once again.
Yeah, they'll be moving on to regional finals time, you know, because we've reached that stage right now.
We're getting a score. Green leading Cheney 34-0 with 6 minutes to go.
Well, I would have to say Green's probably got a handle on that game.
Tremendous ball game down there for Green. The Bulldogs.
Cheney had been rated all year as the best in our region, too.
Neal's going to run the ball out to the 30-yard line, getting tripped up on the play by number 27, Ben Munitz, who's been all over the field for Willoughby South. A good first down again for the Toppers of 7 yards. It brings up a 2nd and 3. And the clock running in quarter number 4 with 11:40 to play.
Well, I'll tell you, a first down play of 7 yards, you can't ask for anything better than that. That's just beautiful. That just makes it so much easier. I think the playbook's going to be conservative here just to keep those stakes moving. They're not going to do anything too fancy.
Kevern going to run the option, keeps it, breaks it to the outside. He's got a gain of 10 and a Chardon first down at the 40. Ben Kevern beginning to exert himself, leading this offense now down the field. Out of the shadow of their goalpost from late in the third period, they moved it out to the 40 as we watch it once again.
I'd have to say we are probably approaching, you're talking your record of what, 167 yards or
192.
190. I'd have to say we're getting pretty darn close to that now, so there'll be no record, and the Chardon's benefit, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing.
Here's the first down call for the white-clad Hilltoppers, 7-0 over Willoughby South. Neal, the ball carrier, for a yard and a half. He got popped down the line of scrimmage, looked to be number 59, Greg Snabel, once again. This time, no, Chardon has a 2nd and 9 coming up, John, and I don't think really the coaching staff, Jim DePoe, too excited about 2nd and 9s.
No, but just come up with a 7-8 yard play, and you're right back to 3rd and short, so that's livable. It's simple. If you break football down, it's a very simple game, you know?
Let's see what the Hilltoppers offer to us here on 2nd and 9. House in the motion man. Quick hitter up the middle for Chardon to near midfield. A nice gain of about 7 on the play. Colin Henderson, he's out to the 48, about 2 yards short of the first down, and it's a 3rd and 2 coming up for the Hilltoppers.
See, that's what I was calling for. Right there, quick little...
Hey, where'd you get the script, Adam?
It's all scripted, yeah. Every play, I'm not going to tell you what's coming up next, but Henderson just runs a little counter inside, gets the good yardage. Now we're down to that 3rd and short situation, which is ideal Chardon football.
Kevern going to keep it. A little shovel pass to Henderson. Henderson's got the Chardon first down, out of bounds into the Willoughby South bench at the 47. That's a gain of 5. They needed 2. It's a +3, and it's a first down for Chardon.
You don't see the option shovel pass pull that often. I don't know if that was a design. No, actually, what happened there, I think Henderson was supposed to be trailing him, but Kevern had to bow out and go deeper there. Coach is calling for something. What?
Should have been a penalty if he would have been in the way, couldn't it, John? They could have called him.
Yeah, they could have, but it's like he was calling for, hey, that was a forward pass. Well, so what? It was a forward. It was a forward pass.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
That's right. 1st and 10 for Chardon. Neal. He's got some running room. Neal to the 27. Big gain for the Hilltoppers. 21-yard pickup on the play.
What a hole opened up on the left side there. Jeez, oh, man, you and me could have got through that one, Andy. You know, look at that hole. Holy cow. He hasn't been touched yet by a blue shirt. There's his first one, and I'm sure that guy wishes he hadn't been touched. It was a safety man, Jake Cook. He got bowled over. Big play for the Toppers.
Ben Kevern with the troops on the 27. And off the right side. And I believe it's Neal, the ball carrier, to the Willoughby South 24. It's a 3-yard gain on the play, and getting up off the pile for the Rebels on the initial hit is Brian Pellegrini. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Yeah, we're just bringing in some more fresh people again. Hopefully trying to keep this the chains moving. This is exactly what the doctor ordered. You know, just Chardon putting together a drive like this.
9 minutes remaining in regulation play. 7-0 for Chardon. Kevern on the misdirection. Henderson getting 2, and then he gets pushed right back on the hit for Willoughby South. And it looked to be 46 in there again, Mr. Pellegrini.
Yeah,
and it's 3rd and 5.
He's been in there quite a bit. Well, we're probably 2 down territory, so 3rd and 5 sounds like a long distance, but you break it up into 2 little chunks, and it's not too bad. Just get a couple of 3-yard gains each time. Stakes move. Toppers move more further towards the goal line.
Cal Pellegrini, the leading tackler for the Willoughby South defense, 150 tackles during the regular season. Well, 15 a ball game.
He's had quite a few today.
Oh, Kevern, loose football on the play. They're going to call it an incomplete forward pass. So it's going to be 4th down and 5 as they tried to get it to Henderson, and it was not there. So it's going to be Chardon with 4th and 5 coming up. And we're going to watch it again, John. I don't know about that call.
You didn't think that was forward? I thought it was a forward pass.
I thought it was a lateral pass, but hey, I'm not going to argue with the officials.
Who ended up recovering it? Do you know? Did you notice that?
It was incomplete, so it didn't matter. I think Chardon might have got it back, though.
Well, that actually worked against Chardon, because that probably would have been a 1 or 2 yard gain.
Yeah, here's a big play. 4th and 5 with the Toppers leading 7-0. Neal is the lone setback. Kevern. There's a jump, but not offside. Misdirection. Henderson's not going to make it, and there's a penalty flag on the interior line.
They probably got a hold of some sort.
Well, if it is, the Rebels will decline it and take over at the 19-yard line, but let's wait to see what Willoughby South is going to do.
Yeah, I think that's going to be up against Chardon. Whole Chardon, yes. Like you said, they'll decline, though, and just take the ball over. But I'll tell you, the offense did their job. They moved the stakes, got them out of a fairly deep hole. Yeah, I really don't see a hole there, but...
Heck, they might have even actually called a hold against the man that tackled it. The offensive lineman put him down, pancaked him, but they're going to take over as Willoughby South with 7:48 to play in regulation time from the 19-yard line. 7-0, Chardon leading on a 3-yard run by Kevin Neal in the 3rd quarter.
And the clock is running, which is working against South.
Delandy's got a man wide open, and it's tipped by Coy at the last second. The pass was intended for a wide open Nick Totato. And I'll tell you, if Coy doesn't tip it, we got a tie ball game.
Possibly so, because, yeah, there was probably nobody else there that was going to get him. Wow. Man,
yeah,
can't let those guys behind you that far, guys.
They say it's a game of inches, and Tim Coy, thank goodness, got himself a pedicure because he just got the end of the fingernail on it to knock it away. And it's 2nd down and 10 from the 19. And DeLande, the junior quarterback for Willoughby South, has got his work cut out for him. Jake Cook, a dangerous threat, is the man in motion. DeLande throwing a screen out on the flat. He got away, and there's blocking downfield. It's complete to Montgomery. Montgomery across midfield to the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown Rebels. 81 yards.
Wow, that turned it around real quick. And the thing is, it was defense. There was somebody there that missed the tackle. Now we got a very important extra point attempt coming up here. That's McCauley on that. Wasn't able to hang on. There was nobody else out wide there. 7-6 ball game and the all-important extra point coming up.
And it's Brian Pellegrini to do the honors. 81 yards for Eric Montgomery, and Pellegrini with a shot to tie it. The kick is down, the kick is far enough, and the kick is good. And there's 7:26 remaining in regulation play here in Euclid in the 2nd round of the Division II state football playoffs. The score, Chardon 7 and Willoughby South 7.
Well, we said earlier, South is explosive, and they definitely proved it on that one, as they got right back into this ball game real quick. So now the Chardon offense not only eat up clock, they need to get some points out of it. Move the ball and move it into the end zone.
I'll tell you, we've had 2 big plays and emotional plays, John. You get Chardon with a 4th down inside the 20. They turn the ball over. Willoughby South turns that into an 81-yard score. Then earlier in the 3rd, we saw it. Willoughby South came up with the big play. The Chardon defense made the turnover. That led to their score. So basically, the defenses have set up the offense in this ball game with the 2 touchdowns, and we're tied at 7. And right now, it's come down to about 7 minutes and 26 seconds worth of clock time. And we may actually go into an extra frame if we remain here after regulation time has expired. So this game now, the season, for one of these teams could come down to 7.5 minutes.
Boy, I'll tell you what would be beautiful for the Toppers right now would be a super return on this one. That would pump them right back and take the momentum right in their direction.
There's the Pellegrini kick, and it's going to be Chardon from the 6. Corey battles up the middle of the field, battles to the 33-yard line. Stopped on the play for Willoughby South by Jeremy Langham. So the Hilltoppers not in bad shape with about 7.5 to go, starting with this drive from the 34.
No, that wasn't too bad a return. They got it out there. Now they got to capitalize on that and really force it. Plenty of time. It's not panic mode by any means. Plus, you got a 7-7 ball game. So, you know, you don't have to, have this score right now, but boy, it sure would be a nice luxury, wouldn't it?
It would be, John, and we're going to see what they've got in store for us as Colin Henderson is the man of the motion, and the fumble off the snap by Ben Kevern causes a 3-yard loss back to the 31-yard line, bringing up a 2nd down and 13. And you're right, though, John, before this play, what Chardon was doing offensively wasn't broke, so you don't fix it. You take your time. But this time, with the fumble, it's going to change things up, bringing up 2nd and 13.
Yeah, that's what you don't need, that missed snap between the center and the quarterback there. It seems like Kevern never really got hold of that ball that time.
Well, 2nd down and 13 for the Toppers from the 31. Clary is in motion. Kevern looking to throw, and he's thrown very seldom tonight. Now he's going to run for it. Kevern along the far sideline gets pushed out into the Chardon bench. Some of the Hilltopper fans moaning for a personal foul, and no flag was thrown, and he's going to be out of bounds at the 36, bringing up a 2nd and 8, or 3rd down and 8, my apologies.
Yeah, we get that 3rd and long situation, something we really don't want to see for the Chardon Toppers, especially in a situation like this. Yeah, that was pretty far over the line. I could see why they were whining a little bit. It was pretty far. He could have backed off easy on that one.
3rd and a long 8 for Chardon. The Willoughby South fans in front of us shaking the stands here at Sparky DiBiasio Stadium in Euclid. Kevern, straight drop timing pattern out on the flat. It's not there, and it's out of bounds, incomplete. So the Rebels defensively get a 3 and out. They should get the ball back in some decent shape with 6:34 remaining in this tie ball game here in the 4th period.
And that defense has got to get right back in and suck it up after that one. Do their job and hold them.
Now that segment was thwarted by that fumbled snap on first down by Kevern, setting up a 2nd and 13, and they never were able to recover from it.
No, that's definitely not what you need on the opening play.
You know, Montgomery back there, the dangerous one. And here comes the kick from Clary. And it's going to take a Chardon roll. And it's going to go down to about the 32-yard line. And that's where Willoughby South will start. 6:22 to go, 4th quarter. It's Chardon 7 and Willoughby South 7 as you're watching playoff football on GTV.
And we got a heck of a ball game here, I'll tell you. First half was offense dominated. Defense dominated. This half, the offense has got back into it with the big play mode. And we got this 7-7 and potentially looking at an overtime situation. Got official timeout down in the field.
Well, I'm glad I took an hour of comp time tonight. I don't have to be to work till midnight. I should be okay.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's got to be a winner. One overtime could lead to 2 to 3 to 4.
It could be like that college game on ESPN went 7 overtimes the other night. Not that there was a misprint, but that 58-56 college ball game.
There's a shootout for you.
Old Miss against somebody. It was insane. Here are the Rebels with this drive from the 32-yard line. Jake Cook is the man in motion. And DeLandy to throw, puts one up for grabs, a man breaking free of the coverage. Oh, and Eric Montgomery had a sure score, and he dropped it as he broke behind the Chardon defense. And that's about 3 balls tonight the Rebels have dropped, John, that really could have got this place rocking.
But I'll tell you, from the Hilltoppers' vantage point, we will take them. We will take them at any time. He actually had that, was shuffling it through his hands, and came out. It wasn't off his fingertips. He just couldn't tuck it away. Wow, that was a big break for the Toppers.
I think the moan from the crowd might have scared the bejeebers out of him and caused them to drop it. The fans let out a big roar when they saw the ball dropping in, and I think they scared the poor kid. 2nd and 10. Big shift on the line now. 3 wide receivers to the bottom. No backs. And he's decked. Boy, one of the Toppers getting in there quickly. And I think it was Mr. Smith breaking free to get the initial hit. It's a loss of 5.
I think we had him unblocked again. They're using him from that linebacker position, bringing him up as a down man, and nobody is picking him up. Time and time, and look at that, untouched, totally untouched.
Colin Montgomery with the assist on the initial hit by Matt Smith. It's a 4-yard loss. We'll say 3rd and 14. And the Chardon defense stepping up again when they need to, as they've done throughout the playoffs.
That was definitely a play they had to have. You know, but you still got to have this one as well. This one's a big play.
DeLandy with 2 wide receivers split to the bottom, rolling that way. Chardon putting the pressure on him again. They got him down back at the 15. And it's 28 once again. Matt Smith with the initial hit, his 3rd sack of the ball game. And it's 4th, and we'll say Bratnall to go for Willoughby South.
And I'll tell you, the important thing of that drop back like that is the fact that Chardon's offense is going to get some decent field position. And that's important right now. They got time. It's just under 5 minutes. 4:52 left. They should have the ball somewhere around the midfield stripe.
Pellegrini gets a low snap, gets the kick away, and he got it off the side of the foot. It's going to take a Rebels roll, but the Toppers got to get away from it. They'll take over at the 46. Their best starting field position of the night, and it couldn't come at a better time with 4:34 to go in the 4th quarter in a 7-7 ball game.
I think, wow, I got good feelings about this one. I think they should be so high right now. Just no mistakes. Stay away from the mistakes, boys. Get positive yardage on every play, and this ball game's yours.
The Toppers with Neal, the single setback. 1st and 10 at the Willoughby South 45, and it's Neal. Up the middle. Neal, first down, and he's down to the Rebels. 33, and they stole the ball from him. Taken away by Jake Cook. He just flat out robbed them at the 33, and the Rebels, with their first turnover of the ball game, take over with a 1st and 10.
We'll have to watch the replay here and see what happened. You see Neal gets a little lane opened up. Is Cook fighting for it right there? Yes, he did. He clearly just ripped the ball out of his hand, and he went from it like 5 yards back, too. He was looking to strip the ball.
So Jake Cook makes the big play for Willoughby South, and let's see if DeLandy can take advantage of it. There's going to be a motion foul against the Rebels. And what a second half this has been. It was just grinded out in the first half, ground that ball, and Chardon's defense stopping everything Willoughby South. Second half, we've had everything.
Yeah, we've seen stuff that we've never seen before. It's been very entertaining ball game, no question about that. And this is a type of mistake that South really doesn't need at this moment either. They want to try to get down. Pellegrini's got a powerful leg there. They want to try to get it down for a potential field goal attempt for him.
DeLandy sending Munitz in motion to the top, going to throw to him out on the flat. Munitz has it complete, gets the penalty yardage back, maybe 4-yard gain out of it to the 31.
That's about it. Should beat up a 2nd and 11.
Good coverage by Chardon getting in there. It was Pat McCauley along with Kevin Neal, and it's 2nd and 11 as John alluded to as we see it again.
See him out free. McCauley just kind of seals him up, waits for his teammates to come up and help him, and they finish him off.
4 minutes to play in regulation, 7-7 ball game. Munitz again in motion. Here comes DeLandy to throw. Looking downfield for his man. Montgomery is there, and he's got it with a 1st down at the Chardon 44-yard line. That throw couldn't have been put in there any better. The coverage was sensational. Corey Battles with the tackle, and that was just a great execution by Willoughby South.
Receiver a little slow. He's getting up.
Eric Montgomery coming off the field, and again, this is a great effort here from the Rebels, John.
Yep, we've got 3:46 left of the game. In regulation time, I should say. Coverage was tight. The ball was just laid right in front of him there, and he pulled it in. Good execution by South on that one.
3:33 left, tie ball game. Munitz is again in motion. DeLandy's gonna throw, rolling out. Behind the coverage, he's got a man free, and it's incomplete. It was either intended for DeLandy or number 84, Nick Totito. And both men were there, and it falls incomplete, bringing up a 2nd and 10.
I'd have to say somebody blew a route, because you normally don't have two receivers that close together. Short of the Hail Marys, which we saw at the end of the first half. Yeah, I'm not sure who he was trying to throw that one to.
This kid, DeLandy, I think has had to at least have 40 passes tonight.
He's been throwing the ball a decent amount.
Seems like about 40. I'm told about 21, but
I know we haven't had 11 punts this half.
No. 2nd and 10 coming up. Chardon showing blitz on the line of scrimmage. Munitz in motion to the top. They're going to run a play up the middle. Chardon's there for a gain of about 1 yard. And a bunch of Hilltoppers on the tackle. The ball carrier getting up off there for Willoughby South. The fullback, number 44, Langham. We'll see it again.
Yeah, I think that was just a case of trying to catch him sleeping a little bit and see if he can bust a quick one up the middle for some decent yardage. But Chardon D wasn't sleeping. They held it to 1 yard.
3rd and 9 at the 42. Clock continues to run with 2:45 left. And I don't think it's 4-down territory yet with a 7-7 ball game. You try to punt, pooch punt if you don't make it, but again, Willoughby South has got a play to make here, and DJ
depends
DeLandy
what they get here. Well,
gonna throw, little screen back the other way, and Chardon smelled it. Who else is there but Matt Smith once again, and he stuffs the reverse screen to Brian Palmisano for a loss of 4, and it's back to the 46. It's 4th and 12.
Yeah, they just had that one defense very, very well.
I'll tell you, Matt Smith hasn't missed an assignment all night. He has been on, and the young man has just impressed me with his play all evening.
I think they're going to have a punt here, especially that one about seal the fate. They're just going to put it on their defense to take them to overtime.
1:45 left. The clock is running. They actually have DeLandy lined up at the line of scrimmage, and what's going to be the call? Delay a game penalty? Or did somebody take a timeout? So. It is a delay foul against Willoughby South. They're going to eat up as much of the clock. At 5 yards here, John, might actually help your punter out. The ball will be placed back at the Rebel 49-yard line.
Yeah, they're geared for overtime right now.
Or maybe try to get a Chardon turnover again. It's getting quite cold. The hands might start to get a little numb, might miss a play with the ball. And
you take turnovers wherever you can get them. There's no question about that.
1:40 to play on the clock. Both teams with all 3 timeouts. And Pellegrini is in to kick, and he puts it high up in the air. Chardon calls a fair catch, and it's taken there by Vern Hayward on the 12-yard line with 1:35 left in a 7-7 ball game, quarter number 4 here on GTV.
Yeah, both teams have their full 3 timeouts. Be interesting to see what Chardon tries to do here. If they just play it conservative and decide they'll go into overtime as well. They do have the ball fairly deep in their own territory, so wouldn't be a surprise if they did that. Both teams content to go. Though you might see South start taking timeouts if they realize they can hold them and maybe have a shot at a field goal or good field position for a Hail Mary or 2 at the end.
Well, Ben Kevern's going to hand it off. And the ball carrier, Painter, up the middle to about the 17 or the 18-yard line. It's a gain of 4. And the Rebels sideline, you hear on the field, Mike's going to take a timeout. But they'll have 2 timeouts remaining. And again, that gives us an opportunity to remind you that if you're a nonprofit organization from our funding communities, you can send us your announcements of interest at GTV. Mail it to Post Office Box 336, Chardon, Ohio. And also fax us conveniently at area code 440-285-9897. And our email address is giagatv@CompuServe.com. Again, that's really for any of our nonprofit organizations and our funding communities of Burton Township, Burton Village, Chardon Township, City of Chardon, Hamden Township, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township, a great, great family of communities in Geauga County, bringing you great, great programming here in Channel 23, and we're glad to be here tonight as well. John and I bringing you a heck of a football game.
Yeah, if you're not into excitement, you're probably not enjoying this one, because this one's got all its moments. You know, it's been an up and down for both teams. Right now, it's kind of an even keel. Seriously, it's looking like overtime at the moment.
And in your opinion, if we get that far, who do you think has the advantage?
Well, quite honestly, I'd have to say it was South. Pellegrini's got field goal attempts. Chardon has attempted 1 field goal this season, and it was missed. So, you know, you got somebody that's more comfortable at kicking a field goal, and oft times it can break down, especially the way the defense have been playing to the kicking game. First down, Painter.
Gain of about 7 out to the 25. That'll stop the clock. Chardon with all 3 timeouts left, but again, folks, at their own 25-yard line with 1:22 left, maybe in the season, you really don't want to roll the dice too much here.
No.
And I think Coach DePofi would understand, let's get into a 20-yard shootout with these guys, and let's lay our defenses on the field and see who comes out the winner. Henderson, the motion man, and look at this. Kevern in a position to throw, throws it out on the flat, and it's caught. And then out of bounds, hopefully, goes Tom Howson. He stay in bounds to keep the clock running, and he did. 53 seconds left, and now a timeout being taken for by the Hilltoppers.
Wow.
They're mixing us up big time tonight.
Yeah, I guess they're not content to go for it. They're going to try to, though quite honestly, the pass patterns run on that one was not for a big gain by any means.
Well, you remember, and I don't want to say it too loud, John, the Louisville game, the Willoughby South coaches here, they had the hook and lateral pass that led to a touchdown. That's in the Chardon repertoire. So, you know, maybe with 1 second left, you try it if you're out in your midfield.
I don't know. I really wouldn't try it, just in the fact of if you're looking for it, Chardon has been using it the last few weeks. They've used it about 4 or 5 times. And if you defense that, stick somebody on that, that's one, it pretty much ends up being a intercepted lateral, and you can go all the way too.
True.
So, you know, it's got its risks. You know, it's a surprise play that nobody's looking for. It's a great play. But if it's a play that you have been using and the team's looking for it and they defense it properly, it can become a high-risk play. So I don't know if I'd use that one. And
Well, Chardon setting up here, John, 2nd and 2 at the 33-yard line. They've got 2 timeouts left and 52 seconds left on the clock. That's a lot of time.
Well, we'll see what they come up with here, but they did take the timeout, so obviously they are going to take a shot at the end zone one way or the other.
Kevin is sending Housen in motion. And Kevin looking to throw, and he puts it out in the flat, and he throws that ball into the Chardon bench. A good move by Ben Kevin. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2. And right there, I don't know, John, your thoughts about that call. You know, you're stopping the clock, and you may even give Willoughby South the ball back.
Yeah. Well, in hindsight, not a good call at all.
Okay.
It's always easy when it's over to, you know, look at those guys.
That's right. That's why John and I make the big bucks in the booth, folks. We can second guess and Monday morning quarterback all the time. It doesn't cost us anything. And up the middle, Chardon does get the timeout, stopping the clock as Dan Painter picks up 5 yards to the 38. 42 seconds left on the timer.
And are they taking another timeout then? Yeah, they did. Chardon took another timeout. So they're down to 1 left, 42.1 seconds left on the clock.
So we got to make sure we get that decimal point 1 second in there.
Yes, it can come into play. You never know.
So Chardon is 62 yards away from the goal line with about 42 seconds left. At 7-7, we'll recap the scoring. It hasn't been much of it, but what there has been very exciting. The Hilltoppers, after a turnover on an interception by Pat McCauley, led to a 30-yard touchdown drive early in the 3rd period, capped off by a 3-yard touchdown run by Kevin Neal. The extra point by Long was good, and with 7:06 to go in quarter number 3, Chardon led 7-0. And then Willoughby South, after Chardon turned it over on a 4th down call at the 19-yard line, on 2nd and 10, came up with an 81-yard screen pass to Eric Montgomery. He took it in for the score and the extra point by Pellegrini with 7:26 left here in the 4th period. Has us where we're at now at 7-7.
And the Toppers come up to the ball, and we'll see what their game plan is in these final 42 seconds.
1st and 10, and in motion goes Housen to the top. On the counter, ball carrier is Colin Montgomery. He's out to the 44. It's a 6-yard gain, and Chardon is going to spend their last timeout. 33 seconds to play in regulation.
Well, I don't know. I can't see running the counter and then coming back with a timeout.
Unless they thought they could pop it. If Willoughby South might have been looking for a pass, and they might have broke a 30-yard run, they might have been in great shape. But in turn, it only goes for 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 coming out of the timeout, as you see our scenario here in Euclid.
Well, if they thought they might pop it, why take the timeout? I can't see them throwing a deep here. Well, we'll see what they do.
We don't know what's going to happen, John. We've been wrong here in the last 2 minutes of just about everything, but we'll see.
Well, we're consistent. You got to give us that.
That's right. It's a good football game. I tell you, I'm glad I could be here, and I'm sure Craig will be just kicking himself that he missed this one.
Plus, he's freezing in the sleeping bag right now.
Well, too bad, Craig.
I have no pity for him.
Well, I'm glad Dave Jevnikar gave me a ring this week, and my duties with my main channel at Cable 9 in Macedonia are done. We had a very, very poor season down there. And here's the 2nd down and 4 coming up. Chardon going to run the counter again. It's a 1st down to Henderson at the 49, and that stops the clock. 27 seconds. Chardon probably called 2 plays.
Line it up to spike it, I think.
You know, downs right about now, John, are pretty meaningless. Under 30 seconds to play in regulation time.
Yeah, they're going to spike the ball. And there
They
goes
wind
the
the
clock.
clock.
Starts spiked.
And
We
it'll
have
be 2nd and 10.
25.2 left.
I'll tell you, they sure are making it interesting here in these last minute and a half of regulation play.
So what do you call, you got a 49-yard play there?
I'll be honest with you, I don't think you need a 49-yard play. I think if you can get a 1st down, John, at the 30, and you can use the whole field, you've got plenty of time to come down and spike the ball and still have some time left on the clock.
So grab a couple quick 1st downs is what you're saying possibly.
Here's Kevin going to roll out to throw. Kevin's going to run for the sidelines. He got out of bounds at the Rebel 41 or 42-yard line.
Yeah,
that's a 7-yard gain.
42, call it.
Well, again, you know, you're setting up here, John. If Kevin can just throw one up for grabs at the end zone, you might even get a penalty and try a field goal attempt. Anything's possible, and I like the strategy by Coach DePofi because the kids are going to use every second of this clock to try to win the football game.
Yeah, you just got to get organized and make sure that if you do get that 1st down, get up there and spike that ball right away.
3rd down and 3 at the 42. Kevin looking to throw, puts it out on the flat, and it's batted down. Big defensive play by number 27, Ben Munitz, and it's now 4th down and 3 for Chardon at the 42 with 11.4 left on the clock. And now the any pass over the middle and the clock will pretty much run out on the ball game. So if you're going to do anything, you want to keep it to the sidelines.
Yeah, and you got to get those 3 yards or so to get that 1st down going because this is the 4th for Chardon.
And split to the bottom is Vern Hayward on 4th and 3 for Chardon, and they move. The single wing to the right moved, and it's 5 yards, and we'll put the ball back now to the 47. And now do you bring the punting unit out, John?
No, you don't punt
Still
at
go
all.
for it? Okay.
No, you got to eat because nonetheless it's going to be a long play whether they take it over on downs or they get it on the punt. But you get a bad snap or something,
Yeah.
There's nobody back there. You know, it's just too big an opportunity for the big play. So, yeah, you run a play here.
So 11.4 left on the clock. 4th and 8 for Chardon at the Willoughby South 48-yard line. Kevin going to run the counter up the middle. And it's a 1st down. Dan Painter, he's got a 1st down at the 35. It stops the clock.
4.6 seconds.
And they can get up there and spike it and try a Hail Mary ball.
That's about it.
Or a 50-yard field goal.
Yeah, I think Hail Mary is more reasonable.
There's the spike, stops the clock. 3.3 left, and it's going to be, I think, 1 ball to the end zone for Chardon as Ben Kevern is at the Chardon bench to get the play call.
That's about the only option you have open to you that's realistic.
The only thing you got to be careful of is to get sacked and lose the ball. So I think if there's nothing there and there's a blitz, you throw the ball out of the end, you throw it out of bounds.
Yeah, even if it's called grounding, so what?
Yeah. This will be the last play in regulation. It'll either be a Chardon win, a Willoughby South win, or we'll go to overtime. And the fans on both sides on their feet. And a throw to the end zone. It's up for grabs, and it is going to be picked off in the end zone
with no
as
time
regulation
left.
has expired. So the Hilltoppers gave it a valiant effort on their final drive. And we have played 48 minutes of playoff football and haven't decided anything as we watch Kevern's effort again here on the play, John.
Yep, he just fires it as hard as he can and was going in the direction of Housen, but it was picked off, which is kind of incidental at this point. So before we go into overtime, I think we're going to take a little break here.
And our score after regulation, the Chardon Hilltoppers 7, the Willoughby South Rebels 7. We'll have overtime here in the playoffs from Euclid right after this brief timeout. And we are back in quarter number 5, or as we show our first overtime period. Chardon will get the football first. 1st and 10 on the Willoughby South 20. Overtime regulation, basically we have the same rules as in regulation play. They'll have a play clock, but no clock to work with. Kevin going to hand off on 1st down, and it's Neal down to the 14-yard line. Dragged down on the play by Eric Montgomery. That's a gain of 6. It brings up 2nd and 4 against Chardon. If they can get in on a score on a touchdown or a field goal, then they turn it over to the defense.
Yes, because each team, it's not sudden death. It's each team gets the opportunity to take the ball at the 20 and get their attempt. So even if Chardon scores, gets their extra point, South gets the opportunity to tie it up again. We could go on and on and on. 2nd
down and 4. Henderson is the motion man. Neal carries again. He's got a Chardon 1st down at the Rebels 9. It'll be 1st and goal Chardon from the 9 in overtime in a 7-7 ball game.
And so far, we'll just come straight at you with our power. You know, they went Neal left, now Neal right. He gained 11 out of 2 yards. Now they got the final 9 yards to try to get in there.
Again, Chardon's lone scoring drive was a 30-yard effort. Willoughby South went 81 yards in 2 plays. Kevern going to hand off on the counter. Henderson, he's to the 1. Colin Henderson is 3 feet away from giving the Chardon the lead back in this ball game. It'll bring up 2nd and goal from right about at the Willoughby South 1.
I don't think we're going to see anything even approximating fanciness here. We got 3 downs to get that 1. It's going to be straight ahead football here.
I'll tell you what, Greg Snavell was very close to ripping that ball out of there. It's going to be 2nd and goal. Kevern with the troops on the 1. Neal didn't get it. He's short. Inside the 1, he's probably 3 inches from the stripe. It'll be 3rd and goal for the Hilltoppers in overtime number 1, tied at 7.
Yeah, they did move forward. Well, man, from the angle we have, it does look like the nose is almost on that goal line. Wow.
Well, what do you think, Kevern, with a QB sneak?
They don't pull that. I don't see, Kevern doesn't quarterback sneak. They just turn around and hands it to his fullback. I don't know why, but for some reason it's just not part of the Chardon playbook.
Well, the Hilltoppers want to take a timeout. They're entitled, I believe, to...
They get 1 additional per overtime?
I think they get 1. And they will take a timeout.
Each overtime they get a new one. There's no carryovers from previous, though the scoreboard does show carryovers. It's got South having 3 timeouts, Chardon just having 1. I don't think that's correct. I think they just get 1.
Either 1 or 2, but it's 7-7 in overtime. And again, Neal with a 3-yard run for the Toppers at the 7:06 mark of the 3rd quarter gave them a 7-0 lead. And Montgomery on an 81-yard pass reception on the screen with 7:26 to play in the 4th quarter, tied it at 7. Again, these teams met 2 weeks ago at Chardon Memorial Field. The Rebels coming up with a 20-12 win in week 10 of the regular season. This is week 12 of the football season. The Toppers at 7-4. They're 16-7 overall in the playoffs. Their 9th appearance in the state tournament. And Willoughby South 9-2 PAC football champions in 2001. And Chardon's going to try to turn the tables on the Rebels from what happened 2 weeks ago.
Yep. And all that's old news right now. Right now is what counts.
3rd and an eyelash for Chardon from inside the 1. And they stuffed them. Neal is stuffed at the 1-yard line, getting the penetration for Willoughby South. Looked to be number 84, Nick Totito, and it's 4th and goal from just inside the 1.
Actually, it was Langham. Watch him right at the ankles. They're getting him and starting him down. Number 44, shooting in from his line position there. Big play. Looks like Chardon is going for it. They're not going to go after the field goal. They're going after the full 6.
4th and goal in the first overtime. Chardon getting the ball first, so the Rebels will get an opportunity. They jump. Hilltoppers put it into the end zone. Kevin Neal. And Chardon takes the lead back at 13-7.
Again, we got the big extra. Every extra point at this point is crucial because you miss one, the other team scores, gets it. You'd hate to lose by the extra point. So concentration has to be there.
Well, Josh Long on to try the point. Kevin with a little weep wow there on the side of the screen as he slipped in the mud celebrating the touchdown. And Kevin will do the holding for Josh Long. It's a good snap. The kick is up. The kick is long enough and it's good. So Chardon has done their job with the offense to start the overtime period as they have taken the lead over Willoughby South 14-7. And John Walsh, we've said it all year that the defense has been the big factor in the playoffs thus far. And Coach DePofi is going to turn it over to the defense to try to advance Chardon into next week in the playoffs.
Yep. And they've done a tremendous job today. I'll tell you, they've just played outstanding defensive ball. They really have just the one breakdown, and it wasn't that major a breakdown, you know, and they'd have totally shut down a good, solid offensive team here.
Well, the Rebels, for the first time this season, with their backs to the wall, they must convert an interception or fumble, and it's ball game.
Yeah, this is sudden death time for them. They have to score or it's over.
In motion to the top. Munitz, and it's going to be DeLandy to throw. DeLandy going to the end zone on first down, and it's incomplete out of the end zone. No flags down, and Willoughby South will be set up with a 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Somebody's down, a player's down, and he's getting helped up by one Chardon player and his teammate.
Dan Woolridge, the offensive center. Slow in getting up. 2nd and 10, Willoughby South at the Chardon 20. We're in overtime. Andy Sefcik with John Walsh here tonight in Euclid. Wow. And the Hilltoppers up 14-7.
We got just total excitement going on around here.
And pass overthrown out of the end zone, and here's the 2nd down call for the Rebels. Out of the shotgun, DeLandy rolling out to the bottom. Now he's going to take off. Steps up to the end zone. Incomplete. And again, nothing there. The coverage for Chardon by Corey Battles. And the pass intended for, it looked to be Munitz. It's 3rd and 10 from the 20.
Again, he had some pressure on him. I think it was Painter again coming on him. The Painter up there. Somebody else getting a beat on him. Also, looks like McCauley got a hand on that one and tipped it away. I was wondering, it was kind of odd why it looked like it was catchable, but now on the replay we can see McCauley just got enough to deflect it, the angle it was coming from, and it wasn't able to be a reception. 3rd down play. Obviously, we're in 4-down territory, though. There's no question about that.
Well, the Rebels could turn the sticks with a 10-yard gain. DeLandy on a 3rd down and 10 at the 20, going to throw. It's time, throws it out in the flat, and it's complete at the 7-yard line. That's a 1st down, complete to Ben Munitz. The coverage by Corey Battles, and it'll be 1st and goal for the Rebels on the Chardon 7.
That was a clutch play. I think that was Pellegrini on the reception there, but that was one clutch play. Again, he stays in the pocket. Sure, he saw Painter coming, put it right on the numbers.
Now they have 2 receivers out in the pattern. Now Willoughby South moves the sticks, gets a fresh set of downs, and they're at the Chardon 7, 1st and goal.
So we got 4 downs here to see if ball game's over, if we go into another overtime.
And DeLandy going to hand off the tailback to the 2-yard line, Brian Palmisano. And he's dragged down on the play in there. Looked to be Tim Coy. Along with a couple other of his teammates. It's going to be 2nd and goal on the 2.
Boy, he had a little lane open up there. Let's see Vern Hayward over there at the top. God, we got the ball right down here, but Chardon had it mighty close too, and it took them 3 downs to get it in.
Rebel fans pounding the stands once again, shaking our camera stanchions. 2nd and goal at the Chardon 2. Up the middle, and it is in for the score. Oh, it's 14-13 as the Rebels are able to get it in the end zone on the Palmisano run.
Now we got that crucial extra point again.
things are getting a little bit cold
like he
here,
crossed
too,
the
John.
plane there. We didn't have a real good angle, but it did look like the ball was over.
Ryan Pellegrini will be on to try the extra point. Chardon's got to be careful, too, because if they botch it and they can still go for 2 to try to win it.
Yeah.
Needs a good snap here.
And a set and kick.
It is good. They blocked it! Chardon has advanced with a blocked extra point. A tremendous finish.
Absolutely incredible. What a job. Have to see if we got a replay on that one.
The most unbelievable ending you could have ever imagined of this football game. And the Chardon Hilltoppers have knocked off the PAC champions in overtime by the score of 14-13.
And there will be another week, and from early indication, it seems like it's going to be green. Look at your morning paper. By the time you're watching this, you'll know who it is. What a finish. Just incredible.
And I don't know if we have it or not, but they're exchanging pleasantries on the field. The Toppers pulling it off with a 14-13 victory in overtime, and we'll cap the stats here for that one in OT as Neal got in from the 1 to start the overtime. And here's the block. Now we'll see if we can get a hand on it.
We'll have to see if we can see who got a piece. Oh, it's distance.
And we may get a good look, though. Let me use my binoculars, John. Now coming right up the middle, one of the Toppers got the job done. Was it number 3? Number 1.
Tim Coy.
Tim Coy saves the day for Chardon.
With the sweetest play of the day, unquestionably. The one that earned Chardon the victory and move on. Have to say, though, our total respect goes to that South squad. They had one tremendous season this year, and they played right down to the final extra point. And what a Super Bowl game. What a representative both these teams were for the PAC conference, or PAC.
Well, the Hilltoppers do live to play once again. It'll probably be green, as John mentioned, too. And we want to thank all of our sponsors here tonight who underwrote this telecast of Chardon Hilltopper football, especially the good folks at Connecticut Incorporated, Junction Auto Sales, Buick Pontiac GMC Trucks on Route 6, Clemson Excavating and Thompson Drag Raceway, Residence Artists Incorporated, Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service, along with A.J. Goulder Electric Company, The Meadows Apartments and Home and Business Storage, Marcy's Hair on the Square, The Hilltopper Full Service Restaurant, Chardon Square Auto and Body, Powder's Lawn and Sport, Flowers by Roger at Cherry Center, Northeastern Kitchen and Bath Company, Dan McCaskey, Century 21 on the Square, Hamden Building Products, the Chardon Athletic Booster Club, funding all sports at Chardon High and Chardon Middle School. Join the Boosters. We do great things for great kids, and your help is always needed. And by GTV, local community programming for Northern Geauga County, Burton Township, Burton Village, Chardon Township, the City of Chardon, Hamden Township, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township. And again, our thanks to everybody here at Sparky DiBiasio Stadium, the entire GTV sports crew, my colleague John Walsh, Andy Sefcik saying once again the final score in overtime. The Hilltoppers live to play again next week, defeating Willoughby South 14-13. So long from Euclid.
They got the wrong score in the final.